is going to sell a company for $1 billion.
Let's party! Once again, day 2 1 billion follower summit, Emirates Towers. Let's go inside and see what the speakers have for us today. Here we have Dubai Chambers. This is the entrance, and Mashreq Bank. Mashreq. Different sponsors. Again, Instagram is right here. Oh, look at this. It's beautiful, right? And TikTok once again. They have a very beautiful lounge with the iconic logo. TikTok. Different booth here, photographers.
What's happened?
Golden ticket. This is Emirates airline. So, hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good.
Hello.
So, hi. If I sit here, it's like I'm sitting in the plane. You see? Boom. See? Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, same to you. Yeah. So now let's go to the summit.
With the Sidemen stuff, I love doing the Sidemen stuff, but I feel like back then we were posting like 3 videos a day, every day, 2 gaming ones and a main channel one. So I feel like if you sort of mentally burn yourself out, it's hard to get back into your sort of swing of things. So I think that's probably one of the major things.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things you need to do as a content creator, particularly on YouTube, is stay true to yourself. Like the you in YouTube is so important. And what people fail to realize a lot of the time is the audience can really see when you're disconnected from your content. So it's very important to try and stay along that path and not get too sidetracked by money or like other objectives. Like focus on.
It's very easy to just think, oh, for example, Mr. Beast does incredible at this sort of, hey, here's this $10,000 painting, just doing these crazy things. But sometimes you might be better off showing the real side of your friendship or something like that. There's loads of different things.
The audience has out for everyone.
You can't copy everyone's thing. You can take inspiration from it and make it yours. That's probably the main thing, is draw from things, but put your own spin on it.
It's not formal, right? Like you go there and then you're gonna say like the 3 words you need to say at the beginning, and then you have to do, even if it's not true to yourself, it doesn't matter that much, right?
Yeah, even with that Simon stuff, someone might like the way you do a Simon idea better than we do it.
Yeah.
And you don't know unless you try it. But as long as you're all sticking to you, there's someone that's going to connect with you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Okay, and then the best advice you could give to a creator who's going through a tough time, like, or it's blocked creatively, or like during this, it's burnout, or you can see that they need some advice.
Yeah, I think it is genuinely taking a step back. Sometimes I used to put so much pressure on myself for missing a week or missing a day. And in the grand scheme of things, in the long run, maybe taking 2 or 3 days off a week is actually beneficial because it allows you to sort of get back in touch with yourself. Maybe you've got like family, spending time with friends outside of thinking of content. Because if you let that just rule your mind, you're going to end up feeling sort of like the world's on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of the amazing things for me is like actually detaching from it for a little while and then feeling like the creativity, like, oh, I want to make this video idea, let's do it.
Yeah.
So you sort of come back into it with a fresh mindset.
Yeah, and I think particularly when you're under pressure to make content, it can be like overwhelming. So it's sometimes good to kind of strip it back to basics and just do something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, when things are a lot, if you just go back to doing something that you enjoy and makes you happy, you're at peace, it's a lot easier to kind of get stuff done and have fun. And people want to see you having fun.
Yeah, it comes back to how you show yourself and then you being passionate about what you do, and then the audience can see it. Right?
It's also very easy to assume that all your subscribers want something every day. Like you just blanket them and think, oh God, I'm letting them down every day. And that's not necessarily the case. That people want to see the best version of you.
Yeah.
So if you're not putting that out, they'd rather you take a couple of days off
Yeah.
and come back to it with it.
I think that's the thing about the silent audience that I'm most like passionate about is when I see the comments, they really care about you, right? Like, when you guys say, I need some time off, or I need this, or this is not working, they're the first ones to say, you know, take your time, and then like, we really love you, then like, we wait for you to come back. So I think that's one of the nicest things I see every time in the comments.
Yeah, we're lucky to have a super supportive audience over the years, like hardcore, so really loyal.
I feel like that comes from, yes, we posted gaming videos, but people were more sort of interested in our personalities, so I feel like they sort of feel like they know us from the get-go.
And because it's a natural thing, like you guys are friends, you're not like coming together just because like it's good to have a group of creators. No, you started as friends and you're still friends today, and everything you share there, it's almost like you having this friendship with 100 million subscribers. That's why people go and hug you guys and take pictures. They feel that they know you, you know? Okay, we're almost at the end, so I'll start one more there, just to be fun, and then I'll finish with to kind of more, a little bit more about yourself and career. Okay, this there, okay, 2 days ago, we have time. Can you explain to us where the creator name you use today comes from?
Oh, okay, so
For you guys who know, I think you know, Jizo and Bazinga, right? So,
yeah, my name's Bazinga, which comes from Big Bang Theory. I used to be a big fan of watching that TV show. And there's one episode where Sheldon's in the ball pit, and I was playing Xbox whilst watching Big Bang Theory, and he kept coming out, and I wanted to change my gamer tag back then. And he kept saying Bazinga in the ball pit, so I just spelt it differently. He says it B-A-Z-I-N-G-A, so I just put that. And then that was it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Mine's a bit more boring than that. Mine came from, so my old Twitter handle used to be like Toby J, and I'm no longer the J. And I joked about changing on Twitter.
دافوس المنتدى الاقتصادي العالمي اللي يجمع قادة القطاعين العام والخاص ويحضره أكثر من 3000 شخصية قيادية. شاركنا لأول مرة بجناح استثنائي، جناح يحمل شعار لا شيء مستحيل. استضفنا من خلال الجناح 6000 زائر خلال 4 أيام. هويتنا وثقافتنا كانت حاضرة ولها طابع مختلف في الجناح الإماراتي، وبصمة كانت للشباب الإماراتي. قدموا لزوار الجناح أغاني الإمارات ونكهة الهوت شوكلت بطعم القهوة العربية، وأيضا صارت الترند من الجناح الإماراتي. خلونا نشوف هذا الفيديو. I think we need the audio.
Best hot chocolate in my entire life.
Yes, that time.
It's delicious. Chocolate is the best answer.
Rich chocolate. Yeah.
The flavor is real.
Love the cardamom
the East-West flavor of this hot chocolate. Fantastic.
من خلال وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي أيضا شاركنا المجتمع في إبراز نماذج ناجحة وتكريم المتميزين. عبر مبادرة صناع الأمل كنا نبحث عن متميزين في المجال الاجتماعي مؤثرين إيجابيا على مستوى الوطن العربي. فكانت الفكرة كيف نوصل لهالمتميزين، كيف نقدر نوصلهم ونطلع بهاي القصص. طلعت فكرة إعلان مبتكر مطلوب للعمل معنا لصانع أمل والمكافأة مليون. من خلال هذا الإعلان اللي صار ترند على السوشيال ميديا قدرنا نستقطب أكثر من 65,000 ترشيح في الدورة الأولى، وانتشر بشكل كبير وواسع على وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي، وقدرنا نحصل على قصص كثيرة ومؤثرة من خلال هذا الإعلان. وأيضا كانت لنا تجربة للبحث عن الشباب المواطنين عبر وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي من خلال دعوة سيدي صاحب السمو لجامعات الدولة عبر حسابه على موقع تويتر أن يرشحون شباب وشابات من كل جامعة ليصبح أحدهم وزيرا في حكومة الإمارات، واللي نتج عنه ترشيح معالي شم المزروعي التي بدأت كوزيرة للشباب وكانت خير ممثل وحققت الكثير للشباب. زمن آخر انتهى وهو زمن تركيز الحكومة على التوعية فقط والانتقال للمشاركة والترفيه والإديوتيمنت. لاحظنا في المكتب الإعلامي لحكومة الإمارات أن بعض الأخبار الحكومية المهمة ما تحظى باهتمام الشباب، وأحيانا تكون اللغة المستخدمة تخصصية، وأحيانا أيضا تكون الموضوعات غير مرتبطة بواقع حياة الناس. ما كنا نشوف محتوى حكومي جاذب أو مؤثر أو ترفيهي. لهالسبب فكرنا أن ننقل الأخبار الرسمية بطريقة عفوية. فكرنا في تطوير منصة يعرف فيها المواطن والمقيم أهم ما يحدث في دولة الإمارات. أطلق المكتب الإعلامي منصة UAE Nation، منصة تأخذ الحدث الإماراتي وتوصله بأصوات ووجوه إماراتية إلى مجتمع الإمارات. طورنا عدة برامج مع صناع محتوى إماراتيين وبهمة فريق تطوير محتوى عالي الكفاءة، منها برنامج قصص ملهمة كنا نبرز من خلاله قصص نجاح مجتمع الإمارات في ريادة الأعمال أو الأعمال التطوعية والعمل الإنساني. وأيضا طورنا برنامج بالقانون. هذا البرنامج يقدمونه محامين إماراتيين يشرحون فيه بشكل مبسط أهم القوانين التي تعلن عنها الحكومة واللي تهم المواطنين والمقيمين على أرضها. والحمد لله تمكنا من الوصول إلى 173 مليون مشاهدة من خلال أكثر من 1000 فيديو ومتابعة مليون متابع، ووصل التفاعل على الحساب إلى أكثر من 10 ملايين تفاعل خلال السنتين الماضيات. شكل آخر كان من أشكال الإديوتينمنت والتوعية الترفيهية اللي نفذناه ووظفناها في المكتب إيصال رسائلنا باستخدام الأغاني لإلهام الجمهور وتوعيتهم بقضايا وجوانب معينة. وظفنا مجموعة من الأغاني في الحملات الوطنية ومحتوانا الحكومي. جعلها تستقبل الأفكار عبر كل المنصات، جعلنا نحتفي ونفتخر بالمبدعين والمنجزين أمام العالم، وأدخلها أيضا إلى عالم التثقيف الترفيهي. رأينا حساباتنا تتنوع بالأغاني الملهمة والجاذبة. الإعلام الجديد كان نهاية الشخصية التقليدية للحكومة وبداية حكومة لها صوت وقلب، كانت عملية ألسنة بكل معنى الكلمة. ما يزال أمامنا وأمام الاتصال الحكومي الكثير من النهايات والبدايات، لأن الإعلام الجديد لا يزال يتطور ومنصاته تتجدد، والحكومات الأكثر ستكون تلك الأكثر مرونة والأكثر قربا من الناس. شكرا لكم.
أنا اسمي معين جابر host of the Saturday After Dinner podcast. اليوم قاعدين مع شخصية إعلامية بارزة. عندنا أحمد البشير host of البشير شو. مع مالك مكتبي host of أحمر العريض و host podcast حد مالك. اليوم أنا جاي كمودريتور بس كمان جاي كتلميذ صديق وفان للشباب. اليوم عنوان البانل اسمه Walk the line or die trying. يعني انتو كإعلاميين قررتوا تمشوا خط رسمتوه لحالكم كرمال تسلطوا الضوء على واقع معين او تحكوا عن مواضيع حساسة ومستفزة برغم عن العواقب والكونسيكونسز. احمد انت كل حلقه بتعملها بتسبب زلزال سياسي بالعراق وبالعالم العربي. مالك انت كمان كل حلقه بتعملها بتسبب زلزال اجتماعي بلبنان وبالعالم العربي. بدنا نسال اول سؤال لمالك. انت اغلبيه حلقاتك بتكون مثير للجدل ومستفزه، نحكي عن الكونتروفرسي شوي. لما بتقرر تعمل الحلقه بتنقي الموضوع لانه مستفز ولانه مثير لجدل، ولا بتنقي الموضوع لانه مهم وبتساعد انه هو مثير لجدل مستفز؟
شكله معين، شكله احمد لكل الحضور. شو يعني مثير للجدل؟ اليوم نحن بالمجتمعات كل شيء بيخرج عن الصوره النمطيه، كل شيء بيخرج عن الاعراف وعلى النظم الاجتماعيه يعتبر مثير للجدل. كل شيء، مش بس الثالوث المحرم، كل شيء بيخرج عن هذه الصوره النمطيه والاعراف والنظم هو مثير للجدل. فخذ لك في قصص مثير للجدل. لكن يلي انا بقول لما اكون عم بختار الموضوع يلي بدي اطرحه، القصه هي يلي بتفرض حالها اكثر من انه اذا موضوع مثير للجدل او لا. بالاخر مثل ما انا قلت، في كل شيء بيخرج عن هذه الاطر هو يعتبر مثير للجدل بالمجتمعات العربيه.
واحمد انت شو علاقتك مع الكونتروفرسي؟ كمان سؤال موجه لك.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شكرا لك، شكرا للحضور، شكرا مالك، شكرا للجميع، شكرا للمؤتمر المليار متابع. يعني هو احنا بالفتره الحاليه هذه وجود السوشيال ميديا هو كل شيء ينطرح صباح الخير هي كثير الجدل. جمعه مباركه ثارت الجدل وتثير الجدل. فكل شيء موجود هو يطرح حاليا هو يثير الجدل من باب انه اكو ناس تريد تعلق ليله التعليق او تكتب ليله الكتابه فقط. من باب انه في ناس فعلا يعني عندها مشاكل مثلا قبلها بيوم تريد تطلعها بالشخص المقابل مهما كان. فاي موضوع يصير قدامه يصير عنده هو هذا الموضوع مال اليوم اللي يثير الجدل على موده. هوايه اسباب بس المواضيع السياسيه اغلبها مثيره للجدل طبعا يعني. خصوصا بالبرنامج اللي احنا نشتغله اغلب القضايا اللي بتطرح هي مثيره للجدل. بس انا اللي يعجبني بالجدل اللي يطرح دائما شغله مهمه، وهو انه الجدل يؤدي الى السؤال، والسؤال يؤدي الى التفكير، والتفكير يؤدي الى تغيير القناعات. فمثلا هاي مساله مهمه جدا عندي. فاعتقد انه الجدل مو دائما هو شيء سلبي، يعني هو دائما المواضيع الجدليه هي مو دائما شيء سلبي، بالعكس قد تكون هواي من الاحيان هي شيء ايجابي. وانا صار لي دقيقتين بدي احكي بشكل جدي ما اعرف شلون دبرت، بس راح اكمل وياك اليوم كله هيك. ف ماكو طول. فراح المواضيع المثيرة للجدل هي مواضيع مهمة، خصوصا فيما يتعلق بالمواضيع السياسية.
منه شيء سلبي يعني؟
ما اعتقد انه شيء سلبي، عدا الجدل العقيم اللي ما يؤدي الى نتيجة. بس الجدل المفيد المنتج هو شيء مهم.
بناء. الجدل
بناء، الجدل منتج، سميه اللي تحب تسميه، بس هو اعتقد هو شيء ايجابي وشيء جيد.
مالك انا لما بفكر فيك وبفكر بالشو تبعك وبالبودكاست كمان بفكر بكلمه واحده: امباثي، التعاطف، الطريقه اللي بتطرح الاسئله، الموضوع، السؤال، البودي لانجوج، اللغه الجسديه اللي عندك اياها بتطلع قصص من الضيف بتخليه يفتح قلبه. السؤال هو في خط معين انت لازم تمشي كرمال تقدر تطلع من الضيف قد ما فيك، بس بذات الوقت ما بدك تبين انك عم تستغله عاطفيا. كيف تمشي هذا الخط؟ How do you walk that line؟
عندي قناعة أساسية، هي إنه أنا بعد كل هالسنوات من العمل الإعلامي، بعد 17 سنة وأنا عم بسمع أسبوعيا لكل قصص الناس، تعلمت شيء أساسي، وهيدا اليوم أنا هيدا هيجسي اليوم أقدر أوصل اللي أنا تعلمته خلال هالسنوات، إنه أنا هون كرمال أفهم الناس مش حاكم الناس. يمكن لما بلشنا بنكون يمكن شوي بدنا نحاكم او نحن بنقول نحن ضد الامور يلي بتخرج عن النمطيه، ولكن اليوم تعلمت اكثر انه كيف افهم الناس. اليوم اغلى ثقه على قلبي انا، اغلى ثقه لي شخص بكون جاي لعنده جاي لعندك حامل احلامه، حامل اوجاعه، حامل كثير امور، جاي عنده ثقه فيك وهو ما بيعرفك شخصيا. بالنسبه لي هيدي اغلى ثقه على وجه الارض ممكن كون انا عن جد ليتها مع ناس، انه كسبت ثقه ناس ما بيعرفوني على الصعيد الشخصي. اساسي كثير، اكيد ما في استغلال للناس. اليوم في شغله تعلمتها وموضوع دقيق كثير، هو موضوع لمحاور الاطفال، هي بعتبر من اهم الحلقات اللي انا بعملها، والحلقات اللي فعلا بدها شغل وبدها اعداد وبدها خيط كثير رفيع بين الطفل وبين حقوق الطفل وبين احترام حقوق الطفل وبين الطفل يلي خصوصيته على الهواء ومش خصوصيته على الهواء، وبين السكوب الاعلامي وبين اللحظه اللي بدك تعملها. لما صرت بي صار كل ولد قدامي عم شوفه ابني، وهون بقول لك مضبوط كيف ممكن اوقف، وين ممكن اوقف بالاسئله، او وين روح اكثر مع الضيف اللي قدامي. هيدا بموضوع الاطفال كيف ممكن اوقف وما اقدر اروح اكثر، بشوف الطفل اللي قدامي فعلا مثل ابني، وين ممكن اوصل ولوين لازم اوقف. هيدا الشيء اللي تعلمته
خاصه بالاي كيو، بالايموشنال انتليجنس، يعني معدل العاطفه الايموشنال. انتم اعلاميين واكيد انتجتوا حلقات، بركي شي مره حطيتوها على الرف، في شي حلقه عملتوها وحطيتوها على الرف او طلعتوها وكنتوا ندمانين عليها لانه سببت لكم مشاكل؟ مشاكل امنيه جسديه؟
احنا بعد البرنامج صار لنا 2014، فاول حلقه بالبرنامج
10 سنين
10 بعد 8 اشهر يصير 10. أول حلقة بالبرنامج كانت اللي انبثت كانت عن الطائفية في العراق، الفتنة الطائفية في العراق، وكيف استغلت من قبل السياسيين.
موضوع خفيف يعني،
جدا خفيف كان. أسهل موضوع ممكن تدخل فيه. الحلقة اللي انحطت عرف بالحقيقة هي الحلقة الأولى اللي تصورت وانكتبت وتسجلت لأكثر من مرتين وما بثيناها. كانت الحلقة عن الأموال التي يتقاضاها بعض البرلمانيين من الدولة العراقية لمعالجة بعض أجزاء جسدهم.
موضوع الخف
يعني هو كان أكو برلماني بالعراق، هسه هو رئيس، كان سابق وراه صار رئيس هيئة الحج والعمرة، فأخذ أموال من الدولة العراقية من أجل أن يعالج جزء من جسمه داخلي. فهذه الحلقة اللغت في وقتها 55 رجال. هذه الحلقة حلقة تعرف مثلا، لأنه لما قعدنا نفكر أنه هل تصلح أن تكون حلقة أولى فيرست امبريشن لبرنامج سياسي ساخر قد أنه يستمر ويجوز الناس ما تحبه، فنريد نعرف. فنحطها تعرف، قلنا لاحقا نسويها، هواية من الحلقات نسويها ونحطها عرف. بسبب انه مثلا ما تعجب الفريق، قد يكون الموضوع مو كلش مهم او موضوع صار قديم، مثلا هواي حلقات سويناها صارت المواضيع قديمه، طلع اكو ترند جديد، مقتدى الصدر قرر يسوي موضوع جديد، من كان سابقا يسوي اشياء هسه بطل حرامه، فتصير المواضيع مالتها كلها قديمه. اليوم المواضيع اكو جديده لازم نحكي عليها اللي صارت اليوم. فلهذا كثير من الحلقات طبعا انت هذه حطت على الرف، كثير من الحلقات ندمنا عليها، انا شخصيا لا ما اعتقد حلقات ندمنا.
انا كنت على شيء طلعت على الهواء.
لا ابد، بالعكس يكون مواضيع كان المفروض اكثر ادخل بها بعمق اكثر وما دخلت، بس مو الحلقه الاولى ما يندخل بها بالعمق. بعدين اشرح لك القصه.
ومالك في شي حلقه
not just the digital economy, but the content creators economy. And one theme that I'll be discussing throughout, it's not just we're talking about numbers, or we're talking about the economic drivers for Dubai, but we'll be talking about quality of life in particular. And this is really the why behind why Dubai wants to be the best, wants to have the biggest, because if you're able to accommodate the best, you're able to serve the best and be able to provide the best services and the best quality of as many things as possible. So the first thing when it comes to providing the best is trying to be, or attempting to be, the best in the foundational aspect, which is safety and security. So when we talk about business, when we talk about just us being here, the first thing is safety and security, and thankfully, alhamdulillah, the UAE as well as Dubai do rank among the top 5 cities in the world in terms of safety and security. But then let's take it another step. When we talk about connectivity, of course, many of you have come through the DXB airport. It is the busiest airport as of right now. But when we talk about Emirates Airlines and Fly Dubai, that's 150 plus destinations, over 250 flights every single day, making sure that not only is the world being connected to Dubai, but even for you as content creators, both individuals as well as companies, that you can serve not only the UAE or the region, but one thing that I want you guys to focus on is how can I serve global markets. And this is what we try to offer here in Dubai. How can I serve the world through my services and through my talents as a content creator? And then when we talk about opportunities, right? Many of you have seen or have heard, and we have the Museum of the Future right behind us. This city is in a constant challenge with itself to try to understand and try to explore the future. So when it comes to you as content creators, you're always looking for what is trending, what is coming up, what is going to affect the lives of people, because many of us today, myself included, get the latest and trending news as well as just information from content creators like you. And so being able to not only understand these new trends, but being able to experience them and see them is very important for you to be able to stay competitive and be the best content creator you can be. And I'll give you one example. So let's focus on Islamic economy. So there are 5 cities/countries that are focusing on Islamic economy in the world. It's the economy or services that can cater to over 1.5 billion people around the world. And so out of those, only 2 cities or countries that really represent the Islamic world. So we have Australia, London is trying to play a role, Singapore, and then Malaysia and Dubai. So being able to cater the right services, for example, in this particular field, having homegrown or regional even content creators that can provide the right services that represent the region is vital when it comes to that. As well as talent accessibility. So today you're a content creator, but inshallah you are able to run your own content creation company, you're able to run your own operations and so you need to have access to talent. And thankfully, alhamdulillah, in the past 5 years, we've seen an exponential increase in talent. And not only as the world is facing various challenges, Dubai is becoming one of the very few places in the world where you can hire talent from anywhere around the world. And as a result, the only differentiating aspect is how good the talent is. And as a result of that, the quality of talent that we're seeing here in the UAE and in particular in Dubai is not only increasing, but is being competitive. And one opportunity that I want to present you with is the competition for talent is not mature. So I'll give you an example. The closest city to Dubai that has a high condensation of talent, but is very competitive, and it's very hard for people to work with others and to be able to collaborate, is, for example, Bangalore. The number of talent is very high, and so it becomes a challenge for business owners to be able to keep and retain talent, and retain good talent, because on a regular basis, they are competing to keep this talent with others or against other businesses. And so, alhamdulillah, we don't have this issue. So I urge you to be able to look for the right talent in Dubai, because that's where probably you'll find it. And I'm sure as you're trying to provide content for the whole world, being able to access talent from around the world is key. And again, yesterday we heard that an announcement of 150 million dirham fund for content creators, right? And this speaks volumes to the efforts that the city and the country is trying to do to not only create the ecosystem and the environment for content creators, but to be able to provide the right support mechanisms needed for content creators to be able to do what they can do comfortably, but excel in what they need. And finally, that just wraps up a bit about sort of the city before I go into how can we help, right? So when you see, one thing we're trying to do, as you know, Dubai has 200 nationalities. We strive to provide the best infrastructure. And going back to what I mentioned, our sole focus in Dubai is to have the best quality of life. And so if you have the best quality of life, you can have the best hospitals, you can have the best schools, you can have the best ecosystem, and you can have the happiest people in the world. And that's what we strive to do. So then, where do we come in? And my wonderful team at the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy. I'll talk a little bit about the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy before talking about the creators economy. And so, we are an organization that represents the private sector. So we represent you in terms of services that we can help, that can help you be able to set up your businesses in a very seamless and be able to get access to potential clients, potential investors, potential partners as well through our platforms as well as our teams. Late last year, we hosted the largest startup and investor event in the world called Expand North Star. And I urge you to come and join and visit us later this year, which was able to provide companies and startups of all sectors within the digital economy with the opportunity to meet investors not only from around the world, but investors that have or manage $1 trillion of assets. And so it provides the best and seamless opportunity to be able to do so.
To get better at something, I can get better at anything. Now imagine, what if I'm right? What if there is literally nothing in your life that you can't get better at? How different would your life be? Just because you're bad at something today does not mean you have to be bad at it tomorrow. Let me tell you, nobody expected me to be successful. Nobody. When I left for college, my mom quietly assumed I was going to fail. True story. My best friend said he assumed I was going to marshmallow my way through life, so I was just going to do whatever was easy. And then when I went to my now father-in-law to ask for his blessing to marry his daughter, he said no. Why? Because he didn't think that I was going to be able to take care of her. Now, what I want you guys to understand is those three people, the people closest to me, they did not misunderstand me. It was true at the time. But what they didn't count on is the end result of somebody who repeats to themselves over and over every day, I can get better. I can learn about this thing. Skills stack. Skills stack. As you push yourself to get better and better at something, you will get better and better at that thing. So here I am. I'm in my mid-20s. I know nothing about business. I have no idea how to make my dreams come true. I'm laying in bed 4 to 5 hours a day every day. The only thing that gets me out of bed is the shame of knowing that my fiance is going and working every day while I lay in bed. And the only job I have at that time, because I'm not employed, the only job I have at that time is to make her a sandwich when she comes home for lunch. And even that I was barely doing. Why? How is it that the same guy that 10 years later is going to sell a company for $1 billion, when you flash back, cannot even get himself out of bed to make his fiancée a sandwich? How's it possible? How is it possible that it's the same person? You are what you repeat. You are what you repeat. And what I kept saying to myself at that time is, I'm not smart enough to achieve my dreams. That's okay for other people that were born more gifted, more talented, more hardworking, whatever. That's fine for them. They can go do it. And I'm here in envy. I want to be that good, but I'm not, and I'm never going to be. And so it was way easier to hide myself away in that bedroom than it was to face my inadequacies. And then one day my whole life changed. Because there was a debate about something called brain plasticity. Who here has heard of brain plasticity? Raise your hand, shout it out, whatever, I want to know. All right, well, I'm going to change your lives, because I would say less than half of people raised their hand. When I first heard this idea, it was hotly debated. People didn't know if it was true. In the US, we call it, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. As you get older, your brain, it's hardwired. Sure, you can make changes when you're a kid, but by the time you're an adult, there's no way. You're not going to be able to make any changes. And then neuroscience was like, hold on, time out, because we actually are able to teach old people new things. And there's this idea of the brain being plastic, that yes, it will take a shape, but that shape can be changed over time. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, the brain is at its most plastic when you're young, so if you can learn it when you're young, that's amazing. It's going to be a lot easier down the road, but the reality is, at any time, any point in your life, you can make any change you want. Why? Because of the only belief that matters. If you put time and energy into getting better at something, you will get better. Now, my life is the answer to the question of what happens if somebody chooses as their frame of reference, meaning the very way that I look at the world, that I'm expecting myself to get better when I put time and energy into something. It took a very long time, but I took myself from not being able to get out of bed in the morning to building 3 very successful companies across 3 wildly divergent areas. I built multi-million-dollar companies in software, nutrition and manufacturing, and now media. All 3 of them wildly divergent industries. Now, how did I do it? By understanding, as the name of the talk will tell you, that my mind creates the content. But it creates the content, not just the content that you put on YouTube, it creates the content of your entire life. The content of your entire life is determined by your mind. And that's why, if you focus on changing what you expect to see when you look at the world, you will change your entire reality. And no matter where you are today, it doesn't mean that you can't be somewhere radically different 5 or 10 years from now. So now the question becomes, why do most people fail? Most dreams will die. Most people will never achieve their goals. So the question becomes, what's the difference between the people who achieve their goals and the people who never do? And they die with that dream in their heart. And I'll give you the answer. They break. They break emotionally because they are repeating something that leads them to fail. And the thing that they repeat is some variation of, I'm not good enough. Now the reason that is so damaging, you guys aren't ready for this. The reason it's so damaging to repeat the phrase, I'm not good enough, is because it's true. If you were good enough, you would have already achieved it. But I'm going to give you one word that I hope is going to change the rest of your life. I have the chills right now, because this is the word that changed my life forever. And that word is yet. I'm not good enough yet. And you really aren't. This is a game of skill acquisition. You're not going to get where you want to go in life because you're a kind person, you're a generous person, all of that's wonderful. But let me tell you right now, you will never build a billion-dollar business if you don't understand business, if you don't understand the product, if you don't know how to fight through the hardest times ever, to get kicked in the face over and over and over, and still somehow show up the next day and do the next hard thing until you actually are successful. To have that emotional resilience, you have to understand that it's okay to not be good enough yet if you're willing to put in the time and energy to get better, to put in the time and energy to acquire skills, because skills stack. What do I mean by skills stack? I have a quote. This is my favorite quote. I love this quote so much. I invite you guys to put it at the center of your universe in the way that I have mine. Who knows Kobe Bryant? All right. My favorite quote comes from Kobe Bryant. And he said, and I quote, "Boos don't block dunks." Meaning, the crowd can be angry at you, they can jeer you, they can boo you, but you can get so good at something. You can stack your skills to the ceiling. You can get so good at something that people can't stop you, no matter how badly they want to. Let that sink in. You can get so good at something, business, YouTube, podcasting, whatever it is that you want to get good at, you can get so good at it that even if people hate you and they want to see you fail and they're going to come at you every day trying to tear you down, even if they are trying to do that, you can get so good they can't stop you. Put that at the center of your life, because now it becomes a question of how badly do you want it? How badly do you want it? Are you going to show up every day and believe in the only belief that matters, that if I put time and energy into getting better at this thing, I will get better. And if I put enough time and energy into this thing, I can get so good that no matter how much people hate me, they cannot stop me from succeeding. Kobe Bryant had people out there scouring the world for the best athletes on the planet. They would go and pay them millions of dollars. They would spend years training them with the sole goal of stopping Kobe Bryant from scoring points on the basketball court. And yet, despite that, despite the number of people whose livelihoods depended on them stopping Kobe Bryant from scoring points, the man scored 81 points in a single basketball game. Now there are basketball games, there's 5 people on each side. There are basketball games where the score is like 88 to 88. So for one person to score 81 points in a single game is astonishing if he were on the court by himself. but when you know that there are 5 other people on that court trying to stop him from scoring, but he was so much better than they were that he won. You are in a dogfight. People are going to try to stop you. If nothing else, entropy is going to try to stop you. The world, the universe, moves towards chaos. It is the second law of thermodynamics. If you leave something alone, it will move towards chaos. How many people have kids? All right, you guys are going to know this better than most. If you leave kids alone in a room, when you come back, is the room going to be cleaner or messier than when you left?
Messier.
It's going to be messier, baby. We all know that. That is the second law of thermodynamics. The only way to combat that is to pour energy into the system, meaning your energy, your life energy. How much time and energy are you willing to pour into your life to make sure that it goes in the right direction, to make sure that you can overcome all the obstacles that are going to be thrown at you as you try to build the next big YouTube channel, Instagram channel, TikTok channel, whatever it is you're trying to do, whoever it is you're trying to reach. As you attempt to do that, there are going to be so many things that work against you, including other people coming into the space trying to get better than you. And the only thing that works, boys and girls, the only thing that will work is that you have to add more value to your audience's life than the next person. Now that value can be humor, that value can be entertainment, that value can be knowledge, whatever you want. But you have to add value to people's lives. This is one reason I'm glad that I had been an entrepreneur for almost 20 years before I ever turned a camera on and started telling people how to think. So for me, I had just been in a dogfight with the marketplace. Building multiple companies, watching some work, watching some fail. And really getting good at this thing called business. And then, when I had a long string of success, I turned the camera on and said, let me just walk you through what I've done. Because I went from the kid that nobody believed was going to be successful. And I made myself a success. Not because I'm better or smarter than the next person. I assure you, I am not. I did it because I was relentless in the acquisition of skills. Remember earlier I told you the reason most dreams never get off the ground is because people break emotionally. Now why would you break emotionally? The answer is because you become what you repeat. And if you allow yourself to repeat in your mind over and over and over, I'm a loser, I'm not good enough, I'm never going to make it, guess what's going to happen? You will lose. You won't make it. Because all of us are in a battle against one enemy, ourselves. You are in a battle against the way your mind works. Your mind, remember, it's not going to see what's there. It's going to see what you expect to see. So if you expect to see evidence that you're a loser, guess what you're going to see? But conversely, if you expect to see evidence
لماذا قمة المليار؟ أنا أعتقد اليوم نحن نعيش لحظة مهمة جدا في موضوع الإعلام. الإعلام بدأ ينتقل من إعلام مركز في مؤسسات معينة إلى إعلام سيكون متواجد عند 8 مليارات نسمة. قمة المليار هي قمة المؤثرين، هي قمة المحتوى. المحتوى اليوم يختلف عن المحتوى قبل حوالي 20 سنة. سابقا المحتوى كان جريدة أو كتاب أو جهاز تلفزيون لازم أوصل البيت يفتح في وقت معين ويسكر في وقت معين. المحتوى اليوم معانا 24 ساعة. اليوم نراجع هذا المحتوى وندقق عليه ونفتحه من خلال الهاتف، إذا آيباد، ولكن أغلبها من خلال الهاتف 50 مرة في اليوم، ما يعادل من 5 إلى 6 ساعات في اليوم نقضيه من وقتنا على هذا المحتوى. تعرف كم يعادل في حياتنا؟ حوالي 5 سنوات من حياتنا. أنت تقضي سنواتك الدراسية تقريبا 3 سنوات من حياتك. هذا المحتوى تقضي فيه أكثر من سنوات الدراسة. أهمية المحتوى أخ عمار، المحتوى هو المعرفة. المؤثرين يخلقون هذا المحتوى، فأهمية هذه القمة هو خلق هذا المحتوى. هذا المحتوى قد يكون محتوى متميز يضيف للإنسانية، وقد يكون محتوى سيء جدا يخلق إشكاليات للبشر. في دول تحاول السيطرة على هذا المحتوى للمجتمع نفسه مثل الصين على سبيل المثال. في دول منفتحة ونلاحظ بدأت انقسامات طائفية فيها مثل الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. المحتوى هو المعرفة البشرية. اليوم المعرفة البشرية قبل عشان تقرأ وثيقة قبل 200 سنة تطلع من بغداد تروح إلى فاس تأخذ لك شهور أو سنين عشان تحصل وثيقة واحدة. الآن أي وثيقة تباها، أي محتوى تباه، ملايين الوثائق متواجدة عندك توصل أنت. فالعملية تغيرت تماما. هي المعرفة البشرية، هو الاقتصاد، محتوى اقتصاد، محتوى صحة. المحتوى هو بيبني مجتمعات سليمة أو بيهد مجتمعات. لهذا هذه القمة مهمة جدا. نحاول أن نبني مجتمعات إيجابية مع بعض مع جميع المؤثرين على مستوى العالم. فأهمية هذه القمة، ولماذا قمة المليار؟ لأن هذا هو المستقبل.
أتكلم عن المستقبل بعد شوي. أمس كان لك تصريح كانت تردك بالسوشيال ميديا، أسعد الحضور اللي موجودين في القمة إعلانك عن مبادرة الشيخ محمد بن راشد. تكلمنا أكثر طبعا بتفاصيل أكثر شوي حول هذه المبادرة.
يعني لما تلاحظ اليوم أغلب المشاريع اللي تمول على مستوى العالم، خاصة المشاريع الناشئة، هي مشاريع اعتيادية. مثل ما ذكرتك أنا، موضوع صناعة المؤثرين هي عملية معقدة بحد ذاتها، مش عملية سهلة. كل إنسان ممكن يكون مؤثر في الحياة. هذا المؤثر قد يكون مدمر لمجتمعه أو قد يبني مجتمع. اليوم هناك تخصصية أيضا في موضوع المحتوى أو موضوع المؤثرين. على سبيل المثال الأمور المالية. اليوم ذكرت لك أنا اليوم نقضي سنوات الدراسة، أعتقد 3 سنوات دراسية، 3 سنوات من عمرنا في الدراسة و5 سنوات على المحتوى. اليوم إذا نظرنا للتعليم فقط، هل بيستمر بالطريقة التقليدية أم المعرفة يا ستتغير عند البشر؟ وانت صغير كنت تقرأ في السنة 6 كتب يعطونك، تروح الإعدادية يمكن 7 كتب. اليوم في يوم واحد ممكن تقرأ ملخصات 7 كتب. هي المعرفة. دورنا الأساسي هو أولا دعم الشباب، إيجاد المتميزين من خلال هذه المبادرة، تدريبهم على إعداد المحتوى، تدريبهم أيضا على التكنولوجيا، وتدريبهم أيضا على التسويق وكيف يبثون أمور إيجابية وروح إيجابية كل حسب قطاعه. اليوم هذا المحتوى قد ينقذ حياة الناس إذا كان محتوى عن الإسعاف على سبيل المثال، وتعليم الناس كيف الموضوع يسعفون نفسهم إذا كانت هناك أي حادثة. وإذا كانت المعلومة خطأ أو خطر كبير على المجتمع، نحن ننظر إلى نادي المؤثرين، مقر المؤثرين، مبادرة صاحب اسمه الشيخ محمد بتخصيص 150 مليون درهم لدعمهم. لطرح لتنفيذ افكارهم، كأن نحن عندنا حاضنه للمؤثرين تطرح لاول مره، مثل ما عندنا حاضنات للامور الثانيه.
هو مقر دائم حيكون.
هو مقر دائم، مقر كان كل واحد عنده شركته الخاصه به، كل واحد اذا احتاج تمويل وفكرته مجديه يتم تمويله، يتم تدريبهم، يتم تطويرهم، لان اليوم صناعه المحتوى صناعه سريعه جدا. التكنولوجيا ياسر تتغير بسرعه. انا قبل يمكن 7 سنوات كنت اقول احنا عايشين في الثانيه الاولى من الدقيقه الاولى من الساعه الاولى من اليوم الاول من السنه الاولى. اليوم نتكلم عن التكنولوجيا. السنه الماضيه في القمه العالميه للحكومات دخلنا الثانيه من الدقيقه الاولى من الساعه الاولى، لان دخل الشات جي بي تي على الموضوع. بس المتغيرات اللي جايه كبيره جدا وغير متخيله.
هذه المتغيرات الكبيره جدا تنقل الى سؤال المستقبل انطلاقا من دبي مره ثانيه. اذا نستحضر تجربتكم دبي في مساله مركز تحويل دبي الى مركز اعلامي، مدينه دبي للانترنت، مدينه دبي للاعلام، سلسله كبيره من العمل في المجال الاعلامي. ايش مستقبل الاعلام في نظر دبي وحكومه الامارات؟
لا، مستقبل الاعلام على مستوى العالم. خلينا نتكلم نحن اليوم الاعلام ندري بيتغير. يعني خلي اذا قلنا احنا عمار تقي، لا نحط على سبيل المثال اعلامي، طيب انا اعتقد بتفقد وظيفتك.
زين، هذا شيء زين
مستقبلا
راح ارتاح بالعكس.
وبيكون في عمار تقي افتراضي. اتوقع خلال 10 سنوات بيكون الشخص يشبهك تماما، بتفقد وظيفتك، ولكن الجيد فيها بتكون عندك الكوبي رايت. لا، لشخصية عمار، بمعنى ان
المال يكون موجود، الكوبي رايت ما يهم.
الشخصية بتكون موجودة، نفس الصوت، نفس الاداء، نفس الحركات. قد تكون الاسئلة ماخوذة من الجوريثم مختلف او ذكاء اصطناعي مختلف، يمكن تكون شوية اعمق في بعض الامور، اكثر مسيسة في بعض الامور، اجريسيف مع الضيف المعين في بعض الامور. فانا اعتقد اليوم مستقبل الاعلام هو مستقبل متغير تماما. اللي شفناه في الاعلام سابقا مع احترامنا كاميرات، مخرجين، استديوهات، اضاءه، مذيعين، انا اعتقد العمليه بتختلف تماما. اتصور الاعلام مستقبلي اليوم كل انسان ممكن تكون عنده جريدته الخاصه به باهتماماته الشخصيه، وتنطبع باسمه ولا باسم عائلته، تطلع لي يوميا، بداياتها موجوده اليوم. انا اعتقد بالنسبه للسيناريو اوريدي العمليه موجوده، ممكن شات جي بي تي يكتب لك السيناريو اي فيلم تباه واي مسلسل موجود حاليا. ولكن اتصور مستقبلا انت اليوم تروح السينما تشوف شخصيه في السينما، مستقبلا انت تقدر تكون جزء من الفيلم هذا من خلال انتاجك انت في البيت، من خلال الذكاء الاصطناعي. تتخيل السيناريو، تنبنى الشخصيات مع الموسيقى مع الاخراج مع الاضاءه، كله بدون تدخل انت الا مجرد تخلي البيانات. انا اعطيك مجرد موضوع الافلام. اتصور التلفزيونات التقليديه بتنتهي تدريجيا، الصحف بتبقى صحيفه او صحيفتين، ولكن كل انسان بتكون عنده صحيفته الخاصه به. في وظائف بتتغير تماما، ولكن السوق بيكبر. انا اتكلم اليوم مثل ما ذكرت، اذا انت كشخص عمار يمكن ما محتاج تعمل مقابلات، ولكن في افاتار لك موجود باللغه العربيه، باللغه الانجليزيه، باللغه الاسبانيه، بلغات مختلفه، عندك الفرنشايز، حقوقك موجوده، دخلك بيكون اكثر.
هذا المهم، بس
دخلك اكيد بيكون اكثر ان شاء الله، ولكن العمليه متغيره. الان هل الحكومات مستعده لها التغيير؟ هل الناس مستعده لها التغيير؟ اليوم من خلال وجودكم معنا في قاعه واحده نحن نفكر في المستقبل بصوت عالي. اليوم في شركات موجوده تعرض منتجاتها، الناس تعرف المنتجات. اليوم في حوار يحصل عن المتغيرات في الاعلام. اليوم في حروب تحصل على مستوى العالم، حروب كبيره وازمات، ولكن الحرب الاكبر هي حرب اعلاميه. من ينتصر في الاعلام ينتصر في الراية.
A lot of wave of creators coming here, finding a place here. It became like a hub, I will say, for creators. But after the gender reveal, okay, you had the birthday. Also with the birthday, let me just start with numbers. For the first time ever in the YouTube history, we had, with the gender reveal, 20 videos trending. 20 videos at the same time trending about one subject, about one thing. And the top 10 in all around the Middle East were all about the gender reveal. Everything from Dubai. Also, yeah, we had also the surprise birthday party. With that, we had 26 videos. 16 of them were trending. So you were in the top. Then you decided to go back to Los Angeles to start with another thing, which is Anazala, which is a different thing besides Anasala. How difficult was that to leave while you were in the top?
Yes, so this question, I think a lot of people, when they hear it, they want to know the answer, and they think that it was a quick decision and an easy decision to take. بس بصراحة لما ارجع اتذكر it was a big risk فيني اقول لانه كنا هون بدبي والحمد لله كل شيء ماشي الوضع ماشي everything was going great and why would we go risk everything leave everything we built here and start all over from zero انا وانس حكينا كثير بالموضوع ونفكر وما ننام الليل بس انه كصناع محتوى حسينا انه بما انه دبي عطتنا هالدفشه انه sky is the limit. Why not reach globally? We had so much like goals and ambitions to take worldwide. حتى the values that we have and that people really cherish and love, we're like we can take that globally. مثل ما الناس هونيك بهوليوود or أمريكا لما يجوا هون everyone's like well, I was like we can bring our values and make it globally and like نترك هيك بصرة إنه لما يعني الله يعطينا كلنا عمر بس لما نكبر ما بدي ارجع اندم اقول لاولادي او لاحفادي انه والله يا ريت انه عملت هالشيء انه انا هو علمني بصراحه هالتفكير لانه هو كان يؤمن انه انا بس لا انه يعني نروح من هالدنيا لازم نترك بصمه بصمه انه ليجاسي وكنت اضحك عليه انه يعني شو فكر حالك مارتن لوثر كينج مثلا يقول لي ليش لا قلت له طب اوكي تخنت شوي يعني بس انه الواحد يعني خلاني افكر انه you can have goals bigger than just انه تكون اوكي صنع محتوى اوكي I'm comfortable هون كل شيء ماشي يعني مو بس لما عملنا هالنقله اخذنا كل شيء حتى الفلوس كلها وهي الريسك لحالها انه جبنا كل شيء وحطيناه على شيء ما لنا فهمانين يعني بامريكا كان شيء كثير بخوف بس الحمد لله it really paid off يعني in the end وما بندم يعني على هالشيء.
Amazing. يعني انتوا الحين you're considered one of the biggest family not only in the Middle East. With Anazala, you are one of the biggest families also worldwide. I've seen the numbers don't lie. We see you have videos that have over 100 million on the English channel. The switch with the name from Anazala to Anazala. How did that happen?
So the switch هي بصراحة صارت صدفة. السويتش بكل بساطة كانت قصة لخبطة لأنه لما الناس عم يذيعوا إنه أوكي أناصالة هن عرب فلما رحنا على الأجانب عم بيعملوا سيرش أناصالة عم يشوفوا عربي ما عم يفهموا العربي. So إنه أوكي this is an analytical issue we need to fix it. So قال لي أوكي فكري معي شو نكتب أناصالة نمبر 2 أناصالة فاميلي ما بعرف قلت له لا كثير هيك بيسك. بعدين فكرت قلت له أناصالة. قال لي شو هي أناصالة؟ قلت له إيه فكر فيها الزي بالنص تنكتب على 2 يعني بتقلبها بتصير اس يعني I like to be creative فهو اللي are you sure وقعد يسأل ويتصل he kept trying to get different people's opinion قلت له صدقني do it وما حتندم وبصراحة من وقتها he took my word and we did it and I think it was a cool twist.
Let me okay he didn't do it you did it. I know the truth. Okay, so we had a lot of calls, Zoom calls with me, with Usi, with Mukhtar, with everyone from the team. And out of nowhere, one day he woke up and he's like, "Oh, I guess we're on Azala." I'm like, "Why? How?" He's like, "Yeah, Asala switched it. You switched it by yourself, and it worked."
It worked, and 2 different entities. There's the Anasala, which will always be the core, and now there's just a new version of that. أنا صار switch the S, Z, or number 2 اللي بدكم تفهموه
You want to take it as second channel or that? Last time I visited you guys in Los Angeles, I noticed that you have a massive team. How big is your team now?
So currently we have about 15 people on our team, and we're so proud of them. And actually 3 of them are in this room. We have Liam, we have Muhtar, we have Amjad, and we're بصراحة we got so lucky with
ورجع الشهر من جديد. الله. طبعا هو كان فيديو يعني تقليدي، يعني انا كنت اقلد فيديو منتشر وحطيته 5 ثواني فقط. بس من هنا صارت الانطلاقه، وبعدها عاد بلاتفورم جديده نزلت الى الانستغرام الى اخره، وعلى الموضوع هذا.
شكرا.
رهيبة.
والله رهيبة.
الله صفاح.
انا ما بدي احكي عن الفيديو كيف انتشر وهذا، انا بدي استعمل السؤال، انا هيك اجاني الهام احكيه، حبيت احكيه لانه انا مش جاي احكي بالضبط اللي صار معي، بس بدي اذا انا اي حدا هون حاطط في باله انه عن جد يكون صانع محتوى وحابب يعمل شيء في حياته، انا كمان بدي اقدم له شيء يروحوا معي يفكر فيه بالبيت. اي حدا على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي حتساله كيف صرت صانع محتوى وكيف زبطت معك وكيف صرت مشهور، حيقول لك انا كنت عم بعمل اللي علي وعندي الاستمراريه وعندي الواحد اثنين ثلاثه، وحيضل كل حدا حيحكي لك نفس الكلام. صح. بس في جوهر مخفي وراء هذا الكلام، هي اللي ما بين السطور. كلمه حظ. يعني جميعنا بنعرف ايش يعني كلمه حظ، بس المعنى الحقيقي بالنسبه لي لكلمه حظ اللي هو عندما تاتي الفرصه للشخص المستعد. صح. يعني اذا انت بتضلك تنزل فيديوهات وما عم بتشوف انه عم بيجيبوا مشاهدات او عم بيجيبوا تفاعل مع الناس وما حدا عم بيشوفهم غير اهلك واصحابك، انت عليك تعمل اللي عليك تعمل. يعني انت لازم تضلك تنزل فيديو ورا فيديو ورا فيديو، حط لحالك جدول والامور تمشي تمام، ولما تيجي الفرصه للشخص المستعد حيصير في انتشار للفيديو. يعني انا بقدر احكي انه هي حظ عندي، ممكن تكون حظ 100% حظ، بس انت عملت اللي عليك، انت كنت تنزل كنت تعمل. فاول فيديو انتشر الي ما بيمثل انا الاشياء اللي بعملها هلا. يعني الفيديو اللي انتشر كنت عم بحكي عن الرياضيات ومنظري كان غريب وشعري كان غريب وانا افكاري كلها كانت غريبه وطريقه حكي كانت غريبه، فانتشر هذاك الفيديو. بس انا شفت منه فرصه انه صار في ناس عم تيجي وانا بحب احكي عن حالي اني شخص مستعد، فاستعملت هذا الشيء وحولت لغايه ما صرت انا مين انا الان. فاهمين شيء؟ وبس.
لا انا حبيت الفكره لانه دائما بلاحظ انه الناس ما بتقدر او بيتفادوا انه هم يلتقطوا الفرص. يعني ممكن تجيك فرصه ويجوك متابعين او تعمل فكره حلوه بس تخاف او تتوتر او تحس انه شنو الناس ممكن تقول عني. فدي مثال رائع لانه لا دوت وما تفكر باي حاجه.
اعمل عليك.
الصراحه انا بدات بداياتي كبدايه اي انسان، يعني بالادوات البسيطه اللي كانت عنده. صراحه بشجع اي شخص يبلش باي شيء هو موجود عنده. فانا بدايتي كانت عباره عن موبايل جدا بسيط، باك جراوند كثير بسيطه. كنت اتابع كثير ستاند اب كوميدي، كنت كثير احب كيف هم يطلعوا مسترجلين وكذا. فكانت لما يطلعوا ويلقوا قدام الناس انا كنت احاول اتمرن قدام الكاميرا، ما كنت اعرف، كنت اخجل. يا الله هذول كيف بيفكروا، كيف بيجمعوا الكلام وكذا. فجربت اول فيديو ورجيته لاهلي، كثير عجبهم، رحت نزلته. فلما نزلته لقيت شوي اقبال من الناس، شوي ملاحظات، شوي انتقاد. كملت. بعد فتره جمعت شويه فلوس، جبت كاميرا، جبت سيت اب، جبت ادابتر واللي هو بلشنا. اكثر فيديو انتشر لإلي اللي هو علقت على كان ترند، فمش عارف انا كيف كان موضوع الترند يمشي قبل. فلما علقت فيه كثير ناس يعني اقبلت عليه. فحسيت انه انت لما تحكي تنتقد الترند الناس بيهمها، لانه الترند بعد فتره حيروح والناس بدها تشوف الترند اللي بعده. فكملت على هذا الموضوع وصارت الفيديوهات اللي بحكي فيها بالترند تنتشر اكثر شيء. والحمد لله بعد فتره كبيره عملت سيت اب، عملت الجو الخاص اللي فيني، صرت محترف اكثر من الناس اللي كانوا بيطلعوا يعملوا ستاند اب على الكاميرا بس. وبس هيك.
برافو عليك. مهم جدا انه نوري الناس انه انت بتبدا، احنا كلنا بدينا بالتليفون يعني.
بالضبط.
فما شرط انه يكون عندك
ولا الحين التليفون
بدأنا التليفون لسه التليفون يعني.
ليش انتوا تطورتوا يعني ولا؟
صراحه ما طورنا صراحه.
اي صح.
لا سعد.
انا بديت بالتليفون بس نوكيا كان على 2007. كنت اصور وامنتج بالتليفون تحرير كان حلو. فالفتره هذه يعني بلشت يعني الشغف كان موجود ان انا ابغى اصور. كنت اصور مو امثل، يعني اصور ناس واسوي لهم سكريبت ويلا انت ادخل انت اطلع واصورهم واحرر المقطع هذا. 2000 وبعدين بديت على المسلسل 2015 او 16 نفس الكلام. كنت اصور واخلي الناس هي تمثل، اعطيها السكريبت، اكتب السيناريو، اجيب والله اسامه، اجيب ابراهيم، مثل كذا بالشرف حبيبي والله مسامح. فمثل سوي ها ادخل. ف 2015 كنت حاط الكاميرا يعني اصور، فالممثل ما قاعد يعطيني الاداء اللي انا كنت متخيله. في اداء بالي انا كتبت السيناريو، فكان رولينج ورحت رحت عند الممثل اشرح له، لا تقول شيء، سوي شيء، عرفت؟ واشرح له امثلها. فلما رجعت وكمل المشهد وشليت خذيت الميموري وقاعد امنتج، شفت ادائي انا وقتها، قلت يا اخي انا كتبت السيناريو، انا سويته بالطريقه اللي انا متخيلها، يعني ليش ما انا اسوي هذا؟ فبديت هني صار التمثيل هذا مختصر.
طيب سؤالي لكم كلكم، في مرات كثير بيجينا اسئله من ناس حابين
زين عجيب. استاذ احمد، انت بعد يعني حسابك غني عن التعريف الانستغرام، معلومات احمد، تتكلم دائما عن الاستثمار، ابرز الاسهم اللي موجوده. شو اللي خلاك تدخل المجال وتسوي هالنوع من المحتوى؟
شكرا على الاستضافه. بالنسبه لي مجال احبه، ولكن عشان انقل هذا المجال الى شريحه اكبر من الناس محتاج مثل ما قال طلال ان انا ابسط المعلومه واخليها مفهومه، لان هي المعلومه موجوده، ولكن انا انقلها من طريقه غير مفهومه الى طريقه مفهومه، من طريقه غير بسيطه الى طريقه بسيطه. ولكن في دافع ثاني اللي هو انه اصنع تاثير، وهذا التاثير يصنع بهدفين. الهدف الاول ان الادراك عند الناس يزيد باللي يصير حولهم. احنا نعرف ان اليوم الاقتصاد هو محرك كل شيء في العالم. حرب سياسيه تقوم بسبب الاقتصاد. ففهم الاقتصاد يخليك تفهم وايد اشياء تصير حولك سواء داخل الامارات او خارج الامارات. الشيء الثاني يكون في فضول عند المتلقي للمعلومه انه ياخذ هاي المعلومه وهو يبحث وراها. يعني ما ياخذ المعلومه كهاي معلومه كامله، ولا ياخذ المعلومه كراي احمد ان هذا الراي هو الصحيح، وانما ياخذ كمدخل له يبحث عن المعلومه بشكل اكثر وبشكل مكثف. فبالنسبه لي اعتقد ان هذا هو المحرك، واعتقد هذا هو التاثير اللي انا بوصل له، انه يكون في معلومه صحيحه توصل للمتابع، زائد ان المتابع يكون قاعد يتحرك انه يبحث عن معلومه بشكل متعمق اكثر، وهذا الهوم ورك مال المتابع.
ممتاز. زين، من المحتوى اللي قدمتوه انتم، هل تتذكرون اول فيديو انتشر، اول فيديو فعلا سوى اثر؟
يعني بالتاكيد، يعني بالنسبه لي كان يعني اول فيديوهات، ودي كانت يعني بدايه ما انشات القناه في منتصف 2018، كانت متعلقه بالاستثمار تحديدا. يعني احنا مثلا منتصف 2018 كنت بشوف في مصر الناس يعني ما عندهاش علم كفايه بالمساحه بتاعت الاستثمار في الذهب تحديدا. يعني ما كانش متداول في مصر الشراء السبائك. كان الناس كلها يعني بتتكلم عن الذهب في المشغولات الذهبيه بس، يعني ما تعرفش ان في حاجه اسمها سبائك. وطبعا هي ليها مميزات في الاستثمار عن المشغولات الذهبيه في موضوع المصنعيه والكلام ده، لان هي بتوفر 50% من المصنعيه. انا بتكلم تحديدا على الاستثمار يعني في المساحه دي. فقررت من هنا ان انا مثلا اعمل فيديو، ده يعتبر كان تاني فيديو اعتقد على القناه يعني، كان بيتكلم على فكره التفرقه بين الاستثمار في الذهب من حيث السبائك والمشغولات الذهبيه، وازاي الناس تقدر تشتري سبائك من غير ما تبغش في المساحه دي. فاعتقد ان ده كان اول فيديو حقق ارقام يعني. بعده طبعا دخلنا على مساحه مختلفه شويه مرتبطه ب اسعار الصرف وازاي العملات بتتاثر يعني. كنت تحديدا بتكلم على الدينار الكويتي، هو ليه اغلى عمله في العالم. طبعا شرحت التداعيات بتاعت ازاي هو يعني الدينار يعتبر من اغلى العملات واسباب ده. فاعتقد ان دي كانت من الفيديوهات اللي هي يعني سمعت في بدايه عمر القناه يعني.
طبعا
بس دقيقة، هو على حظه يعني ان اكثر فيديو انتشر فيديو يخص الشريحتين اللي احنا عندنا صعوبة نوصلهم. احنا دائما شريحتنا نوصلها شريحة الرجال اللي هم مهتمين بالاقتصاد، لكن موضوع الذهب يوصل الى الشريحتين الرجال والنساء.
ده حقيقي يعني وبالذات النساء كمان يعني هم مهتمين شوية بيه. يعني يمكن فكرة الاستثمار في السبائك هي بالنسبة للنساء مش مريحة قوي لما الرجال يسمعوا عنها، لان هو دايما يعني النساء بيحبوا موضوع الزينه والكلام ده. ففكره الاستثمار في السبائك هي محتاجه حاجه تبان يعني. ولكن موضوع السبائك يعني احنا يعني بنشوف طبعا بنحطه في اماكن ما بتكونش ظاهره للناس يعني. فبالنسبه لهم فكره الاستثمار في السبائك يعني يمكن هي مش الطف حاجه يعني.
بالعكس شكله زعلهم دكتورنا. ها؟ الأستاذ طلال، أنت بعد تسوي فيديوهات وايد لها علاقة بالأسواق، شو الفيديو اللي لامس الناس تحسه هو أثر؟
والله أنا ما أشوف كذي يعني شنو أكثر فيديو أو شنو أقل فيديو بصراحة يعني ما أنتبه على هالشغلات وايد، لأني يعني أتعامل مع السوشيال ميديا كأنها حياتي. الشغلات اللي احبها احطها، الشغلات اللي ما احبها اقول انا ما احب هالشيء. يعني ما استحي اني انا اقول ان انا صدق احب التداول واوري الناس شلون اتداول، افتح صفقه اطلع من صفقه. ما استحي اني انا اقول لهم ان انا احب مانشستر يونايتد لابعد حد حتى لو انا قاعد اخسر. ما استحي اني اقول لهم اني اكره ليفربول اكثر من اي شيء ثاني بالدنيا. أشارك الناس بهالطبيعة يعني. وأحس بأن لما أطلع برا مثلا أشوف الناس تكلمني مثلا الليفربولي يقول لي إيش فيك علينا؟ المانشستراوي يقول لي يا أخي فريقنا أنت بيتعدى. اللي فتح معي صفقة يقول لي ترى أنا دخلت معك في نفس الصفقة. هني أحس يعني على الطريقة اليومية. هذا أكثر شيء
تستخدم هالفيديوهات، فما اقدر اتعامل مع المواضيع. يعني ما في لنا ننزل المتابعين وقلت هذا مو الفيديو، انا ما قاعد اروج للشركه هذه.
في ناس تواصلوا وياك بشكل خاص ان ترى نحن تعرضنا للنص بسبب.
لا الحمد لله، الحمد لله. لكن يعني من فتره واحد كان يقول لي انا بحول مبلغ تقريبا $500,000 حق شركه، يقول شوفوا اعلان احمد يتكلم عن خالد.
Camera.
Okay. Besides fame.
Besides fame, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I feel like I'm biased, but I have the best job in the world. Think about it. I wake up in the morning, I meet either my friends or random strangers, I ask them a question, I post the video, I get paid, the next day people have seen it, instant gratification, hey, I saw your video, wow, what an amazing job, you know? But that's the side of fame. I am fulfilled in what I do. You know, like there's a saying that we say in the UK, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And it's true. If you love what you do, it can't be your job, you know? I didn't make that up, that's not my saying. Don't quote me. God, I'm gonna get done for plagiarism. But yeah, that's what it comes to. Like, it's fulfillment, you know? I've worked as a window cleaner, I've worked as a barman, you know, I've done radio presenting, TV presenting for free. I've done all kinds of work. I really do understand hard work. I do get it, and I'm very privileged to be in the position that I'm in. But this wasn't luck, you know. This was hard work.
It's interesting you say that because a lot of people think that Sif was lucky, Ahmed was lucky, Luke was lucky, you guys were all lucky.
No such thing as luck, you make your own luck.
Yeah, but you see behind it, it's hard work every single day, going down, filming, asking people, getting rejected, no, yes, going in fights, people annoying you. So with that said, everyone sitting here, whoever feels like they want to start content, as Sif said, you just got to take the first step. Just take it, and you never know where this will lead you in life.
Yeah, and also, sorry to interrupt, if you think about it, let's be honest, a few years ago, there's only a few people that had millions of followers. Everyone's got a mil now. Sorry if you don't, I'm just saying, but it's true. So how many people have a million followers now? It's not even important. Who cares about a million? You need 100 million. Cabby Lane hit 125 in a year. So anyone can do it, you know? I'm not trying to discredit anybody, but anyone can do it. There are people sitting in their cars, eating at McDonald's and getting paid by TikTok and getting 10 million views. Give me a break. That's easy. What? You know what I mean? Anyone can do it. Try. You know, it's the only way you'll find out. And look, one more saying, I know I'm coming out with these quotes. Once I was sharing a sandwich with a homeless man, and I asked him, how did you become homeless? And he said, I started doubting myself. And he looked me in the eye and he said, self-doubt kills more dreams than failure ever did. And I was like, what? Say that one more time. Self-doubt kills more dreams than failure ever did. Just do it. Oh, come on, come on. Hey, I'm here all week. Thank you very much.
What was the question?
Yeah.
So beyond fame, what personal or societal benefits do you find in connecting with strangers on camera?
Yeah, my role is interesting because again, I'm behind the camera. It's funny because again, with those society, we go around the streets, everyone stops us, but so no one has a clue who I am, you know, what I've done, and so I live a very quiet life. But the benefits that we have is obviously the content we make and the DM we make. So we're able to, you know, tell stories that people are able to relate to. You know, we've all gone through some sort of, you know, depression, mental health, a heartbreak, loss of a loved one. To be able to share those stories online and other people to relate to that story and you know, the comments support each other, the DMs we get DMs and emails every single day talking about how one video has impacted their life. So the benefit we have on those society and on our comments and DMs is honestly is powerful. So yeah, this mic's done well. So yeah.
Those of society, we love it, man.
Yeah, I kind of agree with both of them and what they said. You know, the benefits of, you know, bringing a smile to people's faces, you know, spreading love and joy, as well as the personal benefits that you get from it, and just, you know, having fun with it as well. You know, enjoying the process. You know, calling it your job. You know, when it's really just you going out there and literally talking to people, which when people used to ask me like, what's your hobby? You know, it is creating content and making videos, but honestly, if it comes down to it, it's making new friends. Like, at the end of the day, you know, like the result of making my videos is the fact that I get to connect with people like you guys, that I can connect with people on the streets. That's what my hobby is. My hobby is making new friends and being able to like have so many connections because of the videos that I make. So yeah.
Coming to that question you just said, what's the best thing do you like in your job and what's the worst thing? Because for me, I love everything. There's nothing bad about it. I do a bunch of videos, post them online. What do you
topic I'm super passionate about. My goal today is to do two things. The first is to convince you of the power of YouTube, specifically as a platform to drive business. And this is not for views and advertising, this is actually to drive sales for your business, so product and services. And specifically, I want to show you how you can do that. In 15 minutes, it's going to be tough, but I'm going to do my best. You know, a little bit about me. Why is it me that's up here on stage? So I'm Ryan Hashimi. I built the $50 million media company that forever changed YouTube. The company's called Jubilee. We've clocked over 5 billion views and 14 million subscribers. I'm an Emmy-nominated producer, so I produced films for Hollywood as well. I'm the consultant of choice for many of the largest brands like Netflix, Procter & Gamble as just an example. And importantly for me, even though I have a very deep creative background, actually I come from Wall Street, so I have a very deep business background as well. So the intersection of creative and
business and how to use creative to drive business is something that I feel like I have a very unique perspective on. So just in case you aren't familiar with Jubilee, we are behind some of the most viral formats online. We do very deep, very serious conversation formats. We do more playful formats as well, but everything is for a purpose. We want to increase empathy, we want to increase human connection and understanding, and the goal is to create formats that do that very, very well. So oftentimes, you'll find our videos on the most trending videos on YouTube, and it's had an unbelievable impact on us as a company, on our team. The viewership is remarkable, over 200 million views a month, and these are long form views. So the average view is over 10 minutes watch time, which is pretty awesome. And I think for us, it's really cool to see the impact on YouTube culture as well. So a lot of the biggest YouTubers, have been influenced by our formats as well. So Iraq, who has over 15 million subscribers, came to our office and said, "We love what you do. We want to basically make our own Jubilee," and that's exactly what he did. So he has House Party, which is very much similar to the type of content we make. Sidemen, I think they're at this conference. If you're in this room, we see you. We love the fact that you are influenced by our formats as well. And we've billions of views of reaction videos of our formats, which is super cool to see. It makes me really happy. And this is interesting. A lot of our I think a lot of our success has come from our creative processes, how we come up with ideas, how we test concepts to make sure these ideas are even worth making. And I think that's what set us apart. Mr. Beast DM'd every single one of our team members to try to hire them. He's took a couple of them. He has offered quite a lot of money. But it's also really, really inspiring to see some of the top creators be influenced by and want to work with our team, which is cool to see. This is really, I think, an important distinction for me. We don't make videos for just views. We're not trying to be just purely a media company that is making content that gets views and get ad revenue. This poster, if you want to call it that, this was made by Walt Disney about 70 years ago when he first started Disney. This idea blew my mind when I saw it. The thought of Disney was, the idea is to make stories, IP, films, movies, not for the sake of making movies. It's to build businesses around the IP, build businesses around the story. So you have TV shows, you have then that become movies, that then become music, merchandise, Walt Disney World, cruises. You build this multi-billion-dollar empire around the stories. The content is used to grow business. That is, in my opinion, when I saw this, it completely changed my perspective on how to use content to drive business. I've printed it, it's on my wall, I look at it all the time. And for us, we have a very similar, obviously we're in our earliest of stages, we have a very similar model. I made sure of that and how we built our business. So at the core is YouTube, but then we have an apparel brand, a lifestyle brand. We have a dating app we launched outside of our content that pushes users to it. It has over 1 million users. We have our film and TV department, which we've launched our first film. It was acquired, it became Emmy nominated. We have B2B to do partnerships and programs for organizations, businesses, facilitate conversations for their companies and teams. And my favorite is, we actually bring our formats to life with experiential events. We're launching all across the country to have people connect with each other in really interesting ways, in a paid format. So this is we're sort of scaling on top of that. But I mention this because I think I see too many creators or companies getting into content for the sake of content. And I don't think that's the right move. I think the idea should be content should serve a bigger vision. And even though this is the case, even though we're just in the beginning, I feel like we have $1 billion opportunity in front of us. I recently decided actually to step down from running the business. And the reason is because I'm actually much more excited about this idea of using YouTube to scale businesses, other businesses, help companies. I think the opportunity there is even bigger, and it's something I'm very passionate about just because of my background. So I want to talk about why. Why am I obsessed with YouTube? Why do I think it's one of the most powerful platforms to actually drive business. There's like 1,000 reasons, but if I had to boil it down to just a few, I would say this is the primary reasons. A lot of creators focus on, I think, the wrong things. Viewership, how many views do we get, how many subscribers, how many followers. Actually, if you want to be building a business off of your content and your following, the only metric that really matters is the time your audience spends with you, how much time they spend with you, and how much value you deliver them. The two of those together are the only thing that matters. YouTube long form is the platform that maximizes that more than any other platform, by far. And that's why I'm super bullish on YouTube. The second is, YouTube long form is one of the only truly opt-in experiences. When you go on YouTube, you are presented lots of videos you can watch. That's the algorithm's job, is to give you choices. But you ultimately decide. You choose. You say, okay, I click on this one. I want to watch that one. The reason that that's important is because the payoff to the viewer's brain, it associates you taking a risk on the creator, not the algorithm. You take a risk on the channel, on the creator, and if the payoff is there, there's a much stronger association with you, your fandom, the depth of your relationship with your audience. Whereas if you're on TikTok and you're just scrolling, you're not really choosing the journey you go on. You're just scrolling and you get sucked into this next video, the next video, the next video. So I personally don't like that experience very much. I love the sort of opt-in experience of YouTube, and it's actually very powerful for business. The last, I guess, a pretty unique aspect of YouTube is how long-tailed the viewership is. So on a given month, half of our views are coming from videos we made years ago. That doesn't really happen on any other platform. For instance, I just started posting on Twitter maybe a few months ago. Every single post of mine that I've been making these I put a lot of time and energy in these posts, they've all gone viral. It's been like 1 million plus views on each post, and then 2 days later, everything's dead. I have to start over. I have to make my next viral post. There's no compounding effect. And YouTube has that. It's just so powerful. And so that's the last point, is it's so much easier to compound the effort, the time, the energy that you put into YouTube. And in my opinion, it's the only platform that I can guarantee in 5, 10 years, 20 years will be thriving. It's the only one I can guarantee will be around and thriving. We've been building on every platform for the past 10, 15 years. YouTube's been the most predictable, the most steady, just the most powerful and impactful to our business. This could really be 100 slides of examples, but I wanted to show that in every single industry, every category, every niche, it doesn't matter what it is, there is example after example of companies that have built their business off of the back of YouTube. One of my absolute favorite examples is in the top left corner, is Blendtec, which is a blender company. If you've been watching YouTube for a while, you might remember a very iconic show called Will It Blend. This blender company, the founder, Tom Dickinson, was like, what if we made a fun show where we stress test our product, we see what can our blender blend? And he would blend iPhones, he would blend marbles, he would blend diamonds. And every time, it would crush these things into a fine powder. And that series, he will tell you, is directly responsible for astronomical growth of his business. Now they're the #2 blender, commercial, actually the #2 consumer blender company in the world, the #1 commercial blender company in the world, all because of his YouTube show. Ryan Serhant, he's a real estate agent, #1 real estate agent in New York, sells $2.5 billion worth of real estate. He will tell you, he has a video on this himself, he's had his own TV show, he's had all kinds of content. YouTube is the one that has had the absolute biggest impact on his business. He said that time and time again. I could just keep going on. There's a tax accountant, there's physical therapists, TED Talks, conferences. All of the examples have been built completely off of the back of YouTube, which is, again, I could have 100 slides of this. The interesting thing to me is that, especially if you have a high-ticket premium offering, you don't actually need that many views for it to be, impactful. I keep a list of these, but I just included 3. There are channels that are doing 1,000 views, 10,000 views, not that many views, and directly as a result of these views, they're generating $200,000, $500,000 a month from that little viewership, which is, again, I don't see that anywhere else but YouTube. This is my prediction. I think over the next 10 years, the content-first companies, the ones that prioritize investing in content, are the ones that are going to absolutely dominate. The reason is, in my opinion, it's not enough anymore to have a great product. That's a requirement. You must have a good product. Audience, distribution is the new moat. It's the new competitive advantage. And so I really firmly believe that the companies that actually understand that, prioritize that, are thinking long-term, are the ones that are going to actually win. And, you know, I want to get into how you do it. There's you know, a lot here, but I'll try to simplify just to stay tight on time. There's really the three primary things. One is figuring out who is your starving crowd. You know, figuring out why do you actually even deserve to be making content? What is the point? What is your motivation here? Then it's who's your talent. And he's quadrupling his investment into YouTube this year. We're projecting he'll do $6 million in revenue this year. It has, I mean, time and time again, I could list more and more examples of clients. Like YouTube has truly changed the trajectory of their business. And last thing I'll say is, it's really a long term, a long game, right? If you're trying to make money like very quick, you're like, oh, how do I make as much money as possible in year one? Maybe this isn't for you. But if you have a long-term perspective, you're trying to build for 5 years, 10 years from now, this is how you do it. You invest in content, you think about compounding that YouTube can provide you, and this is an actual projection of a client and I did. We're looking at, hey, he does $250 million a year. How do we get to 2.5 million? That's his goal, our billion. How do we get there faster? And so when you look at 2, 3, 4, 5 years out from now, that's the power of content, organic content.
His story is crazy. The first question that I want to ask you, like, how did you find YouTube and where did you start?
Well, I think I started as everyone else, right? Like as a fan. I spent for the longest time just watching videos, like growing, watching other content creators, and I spent like a lot of this time just enjoying it as a fan. And then one day I was like, okay, this looks fun, and I was like, maybe I can do this. It's like I don't see it that impossible. Like I can start with that like small camera. It's all about creativity. It's not so much about like especially in those times, 2011. It wasn't so much about like having the best equipment. Like I could start with my tiny little camera, you know, 720p, super tiny, and I started to like imagine how I can do this. Before I actually recorded my first video, I spent this time being like, okay, I'm gonna analyze the people that I follow. How did they start it? How they evolved what they did, and how they managed to make content that they can enjoy and a future audience can enjoy. So I just started doing it, and like video by video I learned a new lesson. I feel like that was key to like understanding where I was gonna go. I focused on not to be caught up in like, how can I make the perfect video right now? Because when you start overthinking things, right? Especially at the beginning, you're like, okay, I want it to be like this. Like, especially if you follow another YouTuber, they already have been doing it for years, so your brain wants to go there, right? Like, I want to do it like this, I want to work hard and get to this level. But I focus on like, okay, putting a time frame. Like, I'm gonna do the best I can right now with the abilities I have right now, and just focusing on those 3 days to make a video and do the best I can. And then I put the first video, you know, I sent it to my friends, I sent it to a small community, I saw 3 comments and I was like, yeah, 3 comments, I'm famous, you know? and then little by little, you know, I was like, some friends were like, that's funny, that's good, like it's entertaining, like you should do more. And I was like, all right, I might do this every week, you know? I set myself a time, like if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make a commitment with myself, because no one was watching, so it's a commitment to myself, be like, I'm gonna do it every Saturday. And I started to like, thinking about like during the week, I got excited, I was like, oh, I'm gonna talk about this. I used to talk a lot about like, I used to do comedy. So that meant like situational comedy, things that happen every day in your life. So I was with my phone like writing it down, you know, and be like, okay, Thursday I'm gonna write a script, but I need to have all the ideas that I see everywhere.
Scripted.
Yeah. I love scripting. It's like I have my phone is full with like 300 videos, and I don't know if I'll have an entire life to do them all. But I just love like thinking of ideas and like seeing people in this. That's a fun situation. So I write it down. And
so you went from how many? You went from every week one video to how many videos?
Well, I started with my first channel. That one's called Hola Soy Germán. It was all about comedy, all about fast editing, fast talking, loud energy. I have a lot of energy. I'm containing myself here.
I saw that backstage. You have a lot of energy.
I don't want to be screaming, you know, but I have a lot of energy. I just love sharing that. Even though if it is like comedy and like little things, you know, little funny things about life, I like sharing that with people. I feel like it feels good to watch just a little break from like problematic life and just get a little thing there.
Absolutely. That's what I love to see. That's also how I saw you. And you know what was so crazy to me is that you grew your first channel to 41 million and then just left it.
I was like, yeah.
Like, how crazy are you? Why did you do that? Please tell us.
It's like, I feel like I didn't ask anyone, because obviously the right answer is like, don't leave a channel that gets 20 million views per video, like every day.
Nobody would do that, yeah.
I actually was having a meeting, remember, with Warner Music, and I was like, we were talking about different things, talking about doing music, and I was like, yeah, good idea. And then I mentioned it, like, you know, I might one day leave this channel. And one of the executives looked at me like, oh my God, like, why would you do that? You have like all these people that are waiting for you to do that. And I feel like the main reason, I have a lot of little reasons, that I can be here for hours talking about it. But the major reason, I think, it was like I just really wanted to try something different. Like I loved what I did. I did 58 videos to get 41 million subscribers.
Wait, you did 58 videos to get to that amount?
Yeah.
Wow.
58 videos.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So it became this like big thing. Like I won the video, like I love every single one of my videos. It's like, okay, but I want to try something different. I feel like I did my creativity. I put it all there in 5 years. I did it with all my heart, with everything I could. And I was like, I think I did everything I could do. Like, I feel like my philosophy in this like career, whatever you want to call it, right? It's honesty.
Yes.
Like, I feel like I did my first video with all the love and my last video with all the love. I didn't want it to feel like it was my job, even though it is what I do. I just didn't want to approach it like I have to make a video. So I was just talking to myself, and I was like, it's time to start new. What should I do? Change my channel? Like, I don't want to start changing the way I do things there. So I was like, I'm going to start from scratch.
Did you change your content, like the type of content that
100%,
you're doing?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I started to focus on gaming, which is like, I went from like a 5-minute video that took me 2 days to do, like a lot of editing, a lot of scripting, to me in front of a camera, playing a game, improvising, nothing scripted, just going for it. And I feel like that was a big challenge for me, because I was first of all, I was a writer before I was anything else. So I wanted that challenge. I wanted to not understand what I was doing again. And to be honest, a little part of me was like, maybe I got super lucky. I wanted to see if
you
I
wanted to challenge
could do it
yourself
again.
with this?
A little bit, yeah. I love gaming. I was like, oh man, if I could play games every day and just share with people,
what a life.
that would be fun. That would be the funnest thing in the world. And I started doing it, and you would think that if you have a lot of people watching you here, all of them, they would move to the channel. They didn't.
Were you scared? Were you like, what the heck is happening? Why are they not following?
Not really. I tend not to take it so seriously. I know it's weird because I consider myself a professional, because I take what I do, I take it really seriously. But at the same time, I don't take myself too seriously. I always consider it a gift. Yes. So if I lose it, I just like, thank you for the years. Like, I don't stress out so much about it. So I saw it as a new opportunity to try this new thing. And I remember I went from 20 million for 5 years in every video to like posting my first video and like getting like 10,000 views, which still is a lot of people.
But from here to here,
it's a big change.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, little of you know that just recently he turned to 49 million subscribers in his new challenge. That's crazy. MashaAllah. We here say MashaAllah to this.
And it started like that. It started with like 10,000. I was like, oh man, maybe I suck at playing games. Maybe I'm not good. And I look at the video now, the first video, and I did suck. I wasn't good. And I feel like that's what I wanted to, I feel like my main mission in this world is to show people that, you know, when I was a kid, I was talented at track, you know, like running.
Right.
Yeah, like when I was a kid and something, but I didn't like it. But I was like really fast for whatever reason. I was quote unquote born with talent for that, but I didn't like it. And for YouTube, I've always been an introvert, but I developed a skill in the comedy channel. And even though I wasn't born with that, I worked really hard and it became something that maybe an extrovert would do.
That's what I wanted to ask you, because you do this for so many years right now. How do you keep yourself on the top?
I just love it. I like.
It's that easy?
I'm a fan. Like I go to bed, I get my food and start eating with my girlfriend, you know. And I just put a YouTube video and I just watch this YouTuber, this other YouTuber. I think also I love newer generations. I've been doing this for 14 years. I can be like, my way is better, whatever. But I love TikTok, I love newer YouTubers, I love just other approaches to what I already do. And I'm like, oh, I can try that, you know? So I'm always like learning from people that grew up with me too. Like right now, it's really inspiring to see people that grew up watching my content and now they're doing super good. Like they're doing...
In exchange for a video, which I thought was for free. So I was like, I need glasses, so give it to me. So I don't know, I think the reality is I think when you get approached, then this is something to think about. Then it's a question of like whether you have a manager or not. That's something for everyone here. Managers are generally very smart. It's net positive to get them, so please find a good one. But I think the reality is that like the moment someone is willing to pay you for something, you're probably going to make some mistakes, and it's probably okay as long as they're not lethal.
Okay. Yeah. Good. What was the first brand deal that you got? Where were you?
So here's the thing. I think the first brand deal you get is always scary because you're not sure how much should I charge. Am I gonna give the brand a good return? Are they gonna be happy? Am I gonna disappoint them? So it's always very scary on the first brand. So I found maybe starting off with some type of free or like a barter deal exchange was always, I found it easier myself, because then the expectation from the brand is not that high, you know, like they're giving you, I don't know, let's say a pair of headphones, and then you just talk about it in your content or you wear them, and then you know the expectation is not as high, and then slowly build up, and then as you develop a connection with other creators, you can start asking them, well, I mean, like, how much do you charge for this? And then you start learning. You go to events like this one. You ask people who have done it before, and then slowly start learning how to deal with the first brand deal. As far as my first brand deal, I think it was a game app, and I think it was like a Chinese company. I thought it was a scam at first, but I mean, it turned out to be real, and yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I don't think there's a specific moment. I don't think there's a specific moment in your creator career that's the right or wrong time to start. It's like, if you could offer brand deals that make sense for you and how you value yourself, there's no reason not to take that deal, as long as it's creatively and value aligned with who you want to be. So like to the point of accepting sunglasses, like if that's where we're at in our creator journey, because we're just starting off and it doesn't really change who we want to be to the world, nothing wrong with doing that, and then to your point, it'll grow and grow and grow as you continue to get larger and larger.
Yeah, and guys, we forgot one thing when we got here. We forgot to do the round of intros. Yeah. We got super excited. So I'm Iyad. I'm the co-founder of 8 Flames, the managing company of the, I would say, the biggest YouTuber in the region, Abu Falla, and the managing the brand of Abu Falla in this region. And go ahead, Erica. Let's do a round of intros.
Hi guys, my name is Erica Williams. I'm the Executive Vice President at an influencer marketing agency in Canada and the United States. And I also manage a really big macro creator called MD Motivator. He's also in the audience right now supporting me, so thank you, Zachary. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Hi everybody, my name is Jack Appleby. I recently started my own media company called Future Social, where I teach social media and creator strategy to marketers, aspiring creators, and anybody who wants to make money through content. My experience is I worked in advertising for 15 years, running social media for brands like Beats by Dre, Microsoft, Verizon, and a whole bunch of video game accounts. And at some point I decided, let's go ahead and be a creator myself.
There you go. My name is Osama Marwa. I go by Aussie Online. I am a creator out of Dubai. I do mainly YouTube. And so combined we're at around 20 million followers across platforms. And so what we try to do is level up the content in this region. We try to do videos that have never been done in this region and just try to really elevate the level and just bring up the level of competition. And I think being here means we're on the right track. So excited to see what comes next.
Max.
Yeah, Max. I make videos too. I'm from Ukraine originally, based in London. Everyone's trying to convince me to move to Dubai. So yeah, but in London for now. Make videos about business, careers, brands, social causes. My cat.
All right, guys, let's get back at it. So I want to talk about, this is really important, the fundamental aspect of, striking the right balance between creative integrity and brand requirements. And I think this is like a struggle always when it comes between brand and creator. There's always this gap in creative thinking. So what is the key to maintaining this balance while ensuring a successful partnership?
Yeah, I'll take that one. I think it's so important that if you are a new creator or a creator that's still building, your brand and where you want to grow, you have to keep the integrity of who you are. And I would not compromise for any brand under any circumstance. I really wouldn't do it because your personal brand is all you've got. That's what makes you unique. So I would not compromise on that at all. And I would weave my personal brand into any brand deal, any engagement that I do without feeling bad about doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a podcaster I enjoy named Tim Ferriss who talks a lot about productivity. And one of the things he says in front of all of his advertisements for his podcast is he won't advertise anything he wouldn't personally use. And that's the strategy I've used for myself. Like my audience is mostly marketers or content creators. So if it's not a tool I would personally use, like in my repertoire, to either write my newsletter or for one of the brands I work with, I won't accept the advertisement dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you approach like brand campaigns? Do you have different rules when it comes to YouTube? Are you to other platforms, Instagram, TikTok? Are you more sensitive when it comes to YouTube?
Yeah, of course. I mean, every platform is a little bit different. For example, the biggest difference would be whether it's a permanent post or whether it's like a story. So it's going to go away 24 hours. If you're going to do something more permanent, then you better know that that fits perfectly with your integrity and whatever values you have and whatever values you've been showing your audience. Otherwise, you might come off as hypocritical. You're going to lose the trust over time and the respect. And you lose that, you're going to lose your influence. So I think with YouTube specifically, YouTube videos tend to live on forever. Most of the time, if you're a good creator, you're making content that's evergreen. So you need to make sure that whatever advertisement you're going to do today, you're still going to believe in 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. That's not going to come back and haunt you. And let's say if we're dealing with a story, a Snapchat story or an Instagram story, you can be a little bit more lenient because in 24 hours that story is gone. So I think definitely we give a little bit more of a break with brands, like we can be a bit more lenient when it's just a story. And otherwise on YouTube specifically, when it's permanent, you have to be extremely, extremely careful.
Can I ask a question? I'm curious, as you've had advertisers come talk to you, have you explained to them, or have you had a conversation about like, hey, I want to do this advertisement, but it will live on forever, so I either need to charge more or we need to adjust more based on that?
I mean, usually, yes, depends on the video as well. When we know this video is gonna be a hit, we tell the client, listen, like this video is gonna be a hit. So if you really want the value associated with this great content, you have to pay up, you know? Sure. I mean, I don't say it, I let my manager say it, I try to smile, you know? This way, all the bad goes to him, and then all the good ends up on me. But yeah, it's honestly, it's very tough to find the perfect middle ground, so I think it's cool that that's one of the first things we discuss.
Do you always stay out of business negotiations, or sometimes do you get involved?
I like to be in the group chat. I like to be in the group chat just to see what's going on, so I'm not completely out of the loop. But anytime it's the awkward conversations, I like to stay away from it, and I get involved on the creative side more. And this way, I think, even with the client, you maintain this cool relationship, you know, where they're not looking at you and they know that, oh, you just charged X amount for whatever, you know, they know, okay, they're just gonna blame everything on the manager, and then you get all the, like I said, all the cookies at the end.
Yeah, so the manager's a punching bag.
Exactly.
Okay. Max, you focus a lot on meaningful storytelling. So how do you keep that? How do you keep that balance? How do you select the brand partnerships that actually do not mess with your storytelling when you want to, you know, when it comes into your content?
Yeah. No, for me it's just a money question.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Yeah, I think I have a slightly different perspective because I love making ads. And I really like my branded videos actually, and I think the audience too. Like whenever I have a paid sponsorship, you know that it's going to be something wild sometimes. So I think we just kind of find brands who are open to something a little bit wild, and then I have a lot of creative control most of the time. So I think they kind of know what they are getting usually, and they know that the video is going to be very interesting and creative with me and my team. But like, I don't know, so I've never been in a position where I had to like really compromise storytelling, but I have actually advertised brands I don't use, but then the ad was me using it, for example, for the first time, or me like comparing something, you know? Like I once did an ad about my mango brand, Clemangos, where I did 2 different ads about Clemangos, and it was sponsored by an AI tool that helps you make ads. So it was like 4 ads. Wow. In one video, like ad inception. So like my audience is ready for it, you know? Yeah, but I think sometimes it's like, in reality, I think the more money you get offered, the more your integrity kind of gets a little bit like...
What's the number?
It seems like you have a number.
Yeah, you thought about it. I don't know.
I think everyone has a number.
I think so. I think there are some things that like I would not do. But I think we had a situation once with my manager where like I wasn't sure about the brand, and I'm like, how about we ask for X? And they were like, oh, damn, they said yes. I'm like, oh no, oh my god, now we have to do it. But in the end, it was actually quite good. So like, I don't know. I think as long as you're open with the audience, I think yeah, it's okay to be like, I've never used it, but here it is, crazy thing now.
Well, I think audiences want their creators to succeed. I think as long as you show off the brand in a way that shows value to the audience and shows that they're allowing you to make the content you want to make, that brand's going to be received really well within the content.
Yeah, but most of the time, the problem comes in with the brand message or the brand guidelines that you need to follow. That message does not work, and the creator wants to change that message in a way to make it work for him, and that's when, you know, that clash comes in. But that gets me to the next question, which is, who should have control over the creator? Is it the creator or the brand, in your opinions? Let's start.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
انتوا قاعدين قدامي في المسرح، فاحنا حاليا قاعدين بنتكلم، انا عايز اخليك منتبه معايا. احنا بنعمل اللي بالمصري يعني ان انا اخلي المشاهد ينتبه معايا. فدايما بنلعب العاب كتيره جدا عشان نخلي الموضوع كريتيف. رقم 1 وده الاساس عندي، الماده الجافه دي لازم تكون ممتعه بشكل رهيب جدا، واتكلمنا في الاجابه اللي فاتت ايه الحاجات اللي ممكن اقدر اخليها ممتعه. فبنحطها في قوالب مختلفه. انا عندي تشالنج رهيب، والتشالنج ده معرفش زملائي بيشاركوني فيه ولا لا، بس انا مش بصور الفيديو اللي بينزل الاسبوع ده او الشهر ده. يعني مثلا احنا عندنا 2024 داخله، الجدول بتاعنا السكادول لحد شهر 7. لان احنا مش بنشرح ترندز او بنتكلم على حسب الدنيا، احنا عندنا اوريدي قلت لك اندلس كونتنت، فانت قد ايه هتعمله جديد. جربنا بكل حاجه في الدنيا، وعندي ناس في التيم هنا قاعدين ورا كانوا قاعدين بيهزوا راسهم يعني.
شوت اوت فريق
انا بص شوت اوت للفريق. مبدئيا يا جماعه احنا 25 واحد بس انا اللي بظهر قدام الشاشه يعني. وكل حد ليه وظيفه معينه. فاحنا بنبقى فعلا في موقف صعب جدا. يعني حسب الموضوع اللي انت هتناقشه ومدى صعوبته ازاي هتبسطه. هل هي تجربه من البيت فانا هخش لك دخلت تعالى انت نفسك تعمل ده في البيت فتعالى هعرفك تعمل ده في البيت ازاي وخليك زيي. فدي داخله حاجه مثلا فيها انفجار وفيها حاجه يعني مواد ما ينفعش تتقال، فهو انتقصت الفاليو ان انا ما ينفعش مثلا اصرح بمواد معينه في الفيديو عشان ما حدش يستخدمها بشكل غلط، فانا هبتدي انتقل للناحيه البصريه. فانا الموضوع بقى بينتقل على السنين. يعني مثلا في تجربه مشهوره قوي في الساينس عندنا في النوع اللي احنا بنعمله اسمها الفنتو سبيس اللي هي بتطلع فوق تجربه البركان. الموضوع ابتدى من كوبايه صغيره، بعد كده انتقل لبيكر 5 لتر، بعد كده انتقل لبرميل 20 لتر، بعد كده انتقل لحمام سباحه، بعد كده هينتقل الخطه بتاعتنا وهيكون جينيس ريكورد. فانت لازم تعلي المستوى البصري مش بس للجمهور على نفسك، لان هو ببساطه شديده شفتها قبل كده والله حرفيا هو الجمهور بقى ذكي جدا. عندك ناحيه ثانيه بقى لما هتيجي تتكلم في ظاهره فيزيائيه او حاجه فيها بلوت تويست، فانت اصلا الكرياتيفيتي موجوده لوحدها، الابداع موجود لوحده. فمثلا واحده من الفيديوهات اللي هتنزل وانا متشوق جدا لما هتنزل اشوف رد فعل الناس، ان احنا جبنا الميه وقسمناها نصين يعني حرفيا. فهو ازاي قسمنا الميه نصين، هو ده الفاليو اللي هياخدها الجمهور، اللي هو هيشوف المشهد ده في الاول فانت ازاي قدرت تعمل ده. ففي بروسيس كبيره جدا وفي بيهايند سينز وفي تيم بيتفحت بقى. يعني مثلا واحده برضو من المشاكل الكبيره اللي بتقابلنا ان كل 100 تجربه احنا بنحطهم ايديشن بيطلع منهم على الشاشه 20. احنا بنجرب كتير وحاجات بتفشل كتير علشان تبان بشكل معين، بس كل ده ادانا خبره. ودي حاجه بقى انا ما اعرفش يعني جات لنا ازاي مؤخرا، ان احنا خلاص بقينا عندنا نظره عامه عن المشاهد، بقينا عارفين ازاي نتريت المشاهد بكل الطرق. رول نمبر 1 ما تعيدش عليه حاجه. رول نمبر 2 اميز هيم. رول نمبر 3 جيف هيم ا فاليو.
رائع رائع. استاذ حسن طبعا انت ما عندكش اي مشكله في الافكار، انت بس اتكلم باللغه العربيه
مسك وداني بس.
لا برضه عايزين نعرف اذا كان انت بتواجه اي مشكله مع الافكار، وليه انت بتكون شديد جدا او بتكون مهتم بشكل مش طبيعي وعندك شغف مش طبيعي ان انت توصل الرساله دي باللغه العربيه. عشان عندي سؤال بعد كده جاي لك عن المشاهد العربي عامه، بس قول لنا ليه ده بيعني لك الكثير في اللغه العربيه.
بص لو قاعد على كنبه وشوف بتعجل معاك الاول انا جامد ان شاء الله.
تفضل.
بالنسبه لموضوع الافكار، صدق او لا تصدق. اول شيء انت بس بتبلش هاوي فعليا على السوشيال ميديا وعلى صناعه المحتوى، ولكن عندما تكبر هذه القناه ويصبح لديك الملايين لم تعد هوايه ابدا ابدا ابدا، بل مسؤوليه، وهي من اكبر المسؤوليات في اي مهنه في العالم. لذلك هذه مؤسسة كاملة وقناة كاملة، والولاء الذي يكنه الجمهور لك يجب أن تقابله. فأول فترة نأخذ الأفكار، اجتهادات شخصية، بحث، قراءة، نرى ما هو مناسب، ندرس الفكرة كيف يمكن أن تتسلسل بطريقة لا يمل منها المشاهد ونستطيع أن نوصل له الفكرة بطريقة سلسة. طبعا مثل ما قال صديقنا أصدقائنا كلهم بالمعرفة وبالعلوم وبالتاريخ أيضا، توصل الفكرة بطريقة سلسة جدا ويتقبلها المشاهد. هذا البحث نقوم به نحن في بداية القناة أول ما تفتح القناة، ولكن عندما تكبر هذه القناة ويصبح هناك الملايين من المشاهدات والمشتركين، تصبح مصدرك الأساسي لهذه المعلومات هم المشاهدون أنفسهم. المشاهدون صدق أو لا تصدق أغلب الحلقات التي أخذها أو أقوم بها هي من اقتراحات المشاهدين. هذا دليل أن المشاهد العربي مشاهد غني مطلع، بعكس ما يسوق له، بعكس ما يقال أن المشاهد العربي بيهمه فقط أنه الرقص والترندات وكبس وما بعرف الحركات الغلط عنه. هذا موضوع جدا هام، موضوع جدا هام. أحارب بكل قوة من يقول أن المشاهد العربي مشاهد كسول. خطأ جدا. كل الحلقات حرفيا، أغلب الحلقات عشان ما أكون كذاب يعني، أغلب الحلقات التي أقدمها هي من اقتراحات المشاهدين، يقترحون في خانة التعليقات في الرسائل المباشرة، وأنا ممنون كثير لأن كل مشاهد اقترح حلقة صراحة. نقوم من بعد اقتراح الحلقات بالبحث عن الحلقة، إشباع رغبة المشاهد بما يريد أن يعرفه، إن كان خرافة وإن كان أسطورة. شو بدهم يعلقوا تعليق سلبي يعلقوا، ما في أي مشكلة. أنا راح أعطي المشاهد كامل الحرية إنه يعرف كل شيء عن هذه القضية، وليش صارت قضية جدلية أساساً. هو هل بده يعرفون. أنا أوكي عم تخبرني أنت مثلاً مثلث برمودا بيطلع منه غاز الميثان مثلاً عم ينزل الطيارات والسفن، ما بدي أعرف هيك. أنا بدي أعرف ليش أثار مثلث برمودا الجدل، ما السبب وراء ذلك. يجب عليك أن تسرد له كل النظريات، ومن ثم تسرد له النظريات العلمية وراء ذلك، أو ما يقال عنها نظريات أو فرضيات علمية. ومن ثم أيضا إن كان هناك نظريات دينية مختلفة لا تشتت المشاهد العربي بالخزعبلات الطائفية التي نراها اليوم بكثرة للأسف على وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي. تقدم له أيضا هذه الآراء الدينية، كل الآراء الدينية من مختلف الديانات أيضا، من مختلف الديانات الموجودة حول هذا الموضوع. منكرر إن كان هناك رأي ديني، ثم تفتح المجال أمام المشاهد بسؤال محوري. أنا بالنهاية برنامجي اسمه غموض، ما في داعي أجاوب. أنا عفوتك على خانة الغموض عشان تعرف إن هذا الموضوع إنه مش كل شيء بهذه الحياة محلول، الحياة فيها خفايا. أنا عفوتك على خانة الغموض عشان لكي يبقى هذا السؤال وهذا الجدل عالقا في دماغك حكما من خلفي.
I bicycle and then in city and then I upload from there.
That's amazing. He had to literally sell vegetables all day long to make it big on YouTube. Now you're sitting over, let's say, 50 million followers all across the social media. That's what the power of India is. Amit bhai, welcome. आपके almost 37 plus million followers हैं on all platforms, right? आपकी journey कहाँ से शुरू हुई?
First of all, thank you very much everyone. It's very nice to be here in Dubai every time. भाई मेरी जो जर्नी है वो स्टार्ट जैसे दिलराज भाई की स्टोरी है वैसी सी स्टोरी है, क्योंकि हम लोग गांव से ही शुरू किए हैं हमारी जगह पे। अब देखिए यहाँ पे तो सबको पता है कि ऑनलाइन वेबसाइट्स होती हैं, वहाँ से आप कुछ ऑर्डर कर सकते हो अमेज़न फ्लिपकार्ट से, है ना। सामान सुपर मार्केट्स में जाके खरीद सकते हो, बड़े बड़े स्टोर्स होते हैं। हमारे गांव में तो किसी को ये भी नहीं पता कि ऑनलाइन सामान भी आता है, ऐसा कुछ भी है। तो बड़ा दिक्कत हुई स्टार्टिंग में। और अगर ऐसी आपको एक चीज़ बताऊँ, सबसे पहले जो मैंने वीडियो का कोई इक्विपमेंट खरीदा, मैंने एक माइक्रोफोन खरीदा। और मैंने कौन सा खरीदा, बहुत दूर जाके अपने घर से 4-5 घंटे दूर जाके दूसरी सिटी में, वहाँ मैंने ढूंढा, है ना। ऑनलाइन भी सर्च करता था, तो मैं कौन सी चीज़ें मंगाता था जो सबसे ज़्यादा, मतलब एक फिल्टर होता है, सॉल्ट का फिल्टर होता है, प्राइस लो टू हाई, करेक्ट। तो वो फिल्टर लगा के और जो सबसे सस्ते प्राइस वाली चीज़ होती थी वो खरीदते थे स्टार्टिंग में। तो ऐसा कुछ करके चीज़ें शुरू हुई थी। बाकी बहुत सारी चीज़ों में ऐसे ही है।
There are two kind of YouTubers. I'm like, my knowledge on YouTube and content creation is very short. I'm a speaker, I work for a radio station. So I'm going to ask questions, I'm going to stick to questions. There are two types of YouTubers. एक होते हैं lifestyle creators, एक होते हैं idea based creators. और idea based creators के लिए चाहिए होती है imagination. And this is what a session is all about. Imagination is all you need. एक छोटे idea को, should we all include everyone in this? Should we all include? Let's come up with an idea. Let's come up with a small idea, everyone, that together these YouTubers can make it big. So idea-based YouTubers are like, what if I had a UFO, right? And these guys actually work on their ideas and gain like 60 to 70 million YouTube views. Any ideas? Any ideas are welcome. Let's make it bigger. Let's imagine all you can. Let's imagine as big as you can. What's your name?
My name is Sonali.
Sonali. Oh, you are?
Yes, I started as a radio talkie and then turned as a programming.
Amazing.
Now I started my own podcast station.
Right.
And I want to create this content for women empowerment.
Right.
For women all
Sure.
over the country, across the globe. So I want to go every country, every city of India first and then to cities of the globe.
Correct.
I want to create different documentaries
Okay.
about women.
So also that's a great thing, and I think this session and and our guests here are more about science experimental YouTube. They're more about making, let's say how to run a car on water kind of ideas. So we'll look, definitely, if you've got more suggestions on them, we'll definitely discuss it after this panel session, for sure. But right now, any ideas on experimental based YouTube? Thank you, Sonali. Thank you so much. We'll definitely discuss it after this session. Any ideas?
We can start with this.
Sure.
So what you can do with this plastic bottle? I don't think you can do so much from this.
Correct.
But I am thinking, why don't we use this plastic to make roads, plastic roads?
Correct.
But how we can do? So we do R&D on this, and then we show to people. Then how we can do this? So this is better for environment and waste management. So these types of ideas, like this is a small bottle.
छोटे idea को बड़ा बनाना.
Yeah, this is a small bottle. This is a small idea, but we can do with this on bigger level. We do in our videos.
Okay. And what about you? एक छोटा idea आपको आता है. एक छोटा idea आता है. Let's say ये sunglasses है मेरे पास. इसको आप बड़ा कैसे बनाते हैं? What's the biggest idea that you ever had आपके YouTube पे?
जी. देखिए कोई भी आइडिया की जो स्टार्टिंग है वो इसी तरीके से होती है कि एक छोटी चीज़ से स्टार्टिंग होती है, उसको फिर हम किस तरीके से बड़ा कर सकते हैं उस पर काम करते हैं, टीम बैठती है, सब लोग बैठते हैं कि फिर डिस्कस करते हैं कि क्या चीज़ कर सकते हो। कई बार कई चीज़ें राइट अवे क्लिक हो जाती है कि भाई ये चीज़ ऐसे हो सकती है। जैसे आपने सनग्लास का एग्जाम्पल दिया, तो सनग्लास के साथ में बहुत सारी चीज़ें कर सकते हैं। हम ऐसे सनग्लासेस बना सकते हैं जो कि पत्थर को पिघला सके, दे कैन मेल्ट ए रॉक लिटरली, है ना। ऐसे मतलब बड़े साइज का सनग्लास जो कि सन लाइट को कलेक्ट करके एक जगह फोकस करेगा और वो एक रॉक को पिघला सकता है। एक मजेदार साइंस एक्सपेरिमेंट होगा क्योंकि उस पॉइंट का जो टेम्परेचर है दैट विल रीच एट अराउंड 2000 to 2500 डिग्री सेल्सियस।
Right. And that's imagination, right? That's how
दिलराज भाई ने जो बताया बॉटल से, तो हमने पूरी बोट बना दी थी प्लास्टिक बॉटल से।
Wow.
So you are talking about sunglasses. Once I thought, why don't we put these sunglasses to real sun?
Okay.
You can
And
take
this is your imagination.
Yeah.
Why would I put my sunglasses on?
I work on this topic. So literally, you take a telescope and research timing when the sun is on the where.
Right.
कब कहाँ पे सन हो, उस हिसाब से अगर हम उसे फिक्स करेंगे, then we can do this experiment in real life.
Creatively, जब आप लोग ideas discuss करते हैं, जब आप लोग imagination अपनी लेके आते हो on an idea table, कि यार तू ये imagine कर, why don't you imagine the biggest idea possible that has never been done on YouTube or never been done on social media? What's the most difficult idea to bring to life? Like सबसे मुश्किल idea आप बनाने के लिए आपको कौन से लगते हैं? Like what are the most difficult type of ideas?
सबसे डिफरेंट आइडियाज़ ऐसे होते हैं जिसमें थोड़ी सी एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी की और बहुत ज़्यादा रिसर्च की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, जिसके लिए हमें बहुत सारे रिसर्च पेपर्स भी कभी जो है पढ़ने पड़ जाते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल एक आइडिया बताता हूँ, मैंने जो स्टार्ट किया था, इट नेवर गॉट अपलोडेड एक्चुअली बिकॉज इट फेल्ड। उसमें हमने क्या किया कि हम एक बहुत बड़े साइज का रॉकेट्स बनाने की ट्राई कर रहे थे। हमने उससे पहले छोटे रॉकेट्स बनाए हैं, एकदम छोटे भी, थोड़े मिड साइज के भी, और वो काम किए थे। फिर हमने सोचा कि बहुत बड़ा रॉकेट बनाते हैं। हमने उस पर 15, 20, 30 डेज का लंबा टाइम दिया रिसर्च करने में, फिर मटेरियल अरेंज करने में सारा। और जब हमने उसको टेस्ट किया तो वो काम नहीं किया, मतलब प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हुई, इग्निशन हुआ, सारी चीज़ें, लेकिन रॉकेट ऊपर नहीं गया।
Fair enough. And वो वीडियो भी आज तक अपलोड नहीं किया।
वो वीडियो कभी अपलोड भी नहीं हुआ।
Fair enough. एक डिबेट जो मुझे इमेजिनेशन से आपकी जर्नी से याद आता है is इंडिया में there's always a debate going on between the class versus the mass, right? So there's a class YouTuber section, then there's a mass YouTuber section. आप लोग, I'm guessing and I'm sure by the numbers that I can see is the mass creation, जहाँ पे इंडिया में आधी से ज़्यादा जनता is still in the small towns, आधी से ज़्यादा जनता is still aspiring to do something, still looking for a job. आप उनसे कैसे relate करते हो? उनसे आप कैसे
Hi, hey everybody, I'm Prajakta Koil. Thank you. Great to do that. I appreciate it though. I'm Prajakta, I'm from Mumbai, India. I'm a content creator, trying to be an actor and also a writer. I've been working in a socially aware space for the past few years now, and it's been one of the closest things to my heart. So I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we do want this to be an interactive session. You don't want to sit down and watch us talk for 25 minutes. So we are going to lean on you guys for a few questions. Please just keep the questions short, sweet, and smart, okay? Easy, thank you. So I'll start with you, Zachary. How do you navigate the fine line between creating charitable content to make a positive impact and the potential criticism of exploiting such situations for popularity?
That's a great question. So I think the biggest thing with the content that I create is I don't go out there in hopes to find the saddest story, to find something where there's a serious problem. I just connecting with strangers, talking to good strangers, hearing people's stories. And obviously I can't solve the problem by myself, but with the power of the internet we can. So a perfect example would have been in April of this past year, where I was in Los Angeles and I had a mystery basketball. I said, does anybody want to buy the mystery basketball for $1? And it was a dad and a son, and they were sitting in this this Escalade, or not like a Ford Expedition, and it was open. And long story short, we surprised him with $1,000 and to go to the Los Angeles Lakers game and meet all the Lakers players. I'm a big basketball fan. But he said he needed $1,000. He said, look at this. And he pointed to the back of his truck. When he opened it, there was a pillow and blankets, and he said him and his 9-year-old son, Donald Joseph, his autistic son, were living in their car at the time. And I had no idea where they were, and obviously $1,000 doesn't solve that problem. Shared the video overnight, it got over 100 million views. But what was beautiful about that is we started a crowdfunding, which we do often, as you know, and we raised $240,000 within 3 days, and we were able to go back and surprise that dad and son. And it's not a clap to me, it's a clap to every stranger online that watches the video and clicks a link and donates their money in hopes that it goes on a website that goes to me, that goes to them, that gets used right. It was social proof that people want to do good, just oftentimes we don't know where to start. And through that, we were able to get them a house. They no longer live in their car. His 9-year-old son who was autistic no longer has to pay for his medical expenses. Their credit card debt was taken care of. It was an opportunity to re-pivot in life. And what they do with it, so be it. We set them up with a financial advisor as well. So it's amazing what the internet can do. And it's not a kindness creator. I think everybody's kind, whether you're a creator or not, and we can use our own platforms to spread that contagiousness.
What I love about that is your little sentiment of it's social proof that people want to do good, that people want to be kind, which I think is great. What are your thoughts on differentiating between criticism and just posting because you want to post?
I feel like it really just starts from intent, right? At the end of the day, like he said, I mean, you're not a kind creator, you're a creator. What's your intention to do what you're doing when it comes to more socially aware conversations? Now for me, honestly, it's such a pleasure, Zachary, to be here with you and listen to you tell your stories in person, because I come from a place where I'm still kind of learning, but I'm still kind of trying to understand. I'll be very honest with you, I did start working on this 7 years ago, but it's still quite a learning curve for me. So I am open to trying new things, but at the same time also open to making those mistakes and learning from them. As long as I know that my intention is correct, I think it's fine if they think that you're doing it for personal gain. It's okay. Honestly, we're here. I mean, now you see these faces. I don't see them. So we're fine.
I agree. I think it's so important to just ignore the naysayers. Because you're always going to have them in every field that you're operating in. So that's great. When you guys are creating this content, how do you measure the success of the charitable efforts beyond immediate visibility or engagement? What does that look like to you?
Me first?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there's a good example where in my hometown, we went to this local housing projects. We brought 100 kids from the local housing projects to a water park with 2 chaperones, which was a terrible idea. But we brought them to the water park, and when we were there was a dad and 3 daughters. And they came up to me and they said, we watch your videos every night, can we take a photo? For sure. And when I was walking away, this 6-year-old girl, the daughters were I think 10, 8, and 6. And the 6-year-old girl, she tapped my elbow, and she's like, I just want to let you know that we watch your videos every night, and last week when we were watching one of your videos, I went to the grocery store the next day and we saw that there was a guy that looked hungry. So I went home that night and I took my piggy bank and I cracked it and I broke it, and I took the change from the piggy bank, and we went to the grocery store the next day, and he was there, and I was able to help him. And to hear a 6-year-old girl, obviously in her language, share that to me shows what was the question again? I think it was something like that.
This is more social proof that,
it was more social proof. People want to do good. It's not the $1,000. It's not. It's starting with what you have now. You don't need to be a billionaire to be able to do good. You don't need. Everyone can do it, and it's contagious. Her sister saw it. Her dad saw it. The employees, the other customers saw it, and then that ripples out into the real world.
So you measure the success based on the ripple effect. That a young girl is like, oh, I can be kind too. Here's how I can.
I didn't know about the ripple effect that actually created in the real world until she shared that with me that previous year, and then it made me realize that these videos are actually creating that I'll never see. But it was amazing to hear that story. And that sticks with me.
Thank you. What do you think about the ripple effect?
Before that, can I just add on to something he just said? I also think that it's so important, and I love the kind of storytelling that you do, because it's so important for more and more younger audiences on the internet to understand that sometimes it's not just the money. That's not the only way you kind of can make a difference. And I feel like simpler storytelling and conversations like that help us understand that it's not always going to be the $10 or the $1,000. Sometimes it's just the hours you put. Sometimes it's the video you share. Sometimes it's what inspires you to change conversations about socially relevant things in your close family, friends and circle. So that's for sure. And how I measure it, I think, so for me, moving out of my immediate organic audience is a huge indicator of that. The fact that a stage like this wants to invite me all the way from India to talk about something like this, where people are coming from across the world and actually sitting here to listen to what I have to say, kind of is an indicator that it might just be going in a direction that could be working. I heavily depend on engagement that comes through on all my social handles for guidance, also for criticism, to understand how well it's going, how well it's not. And then stories when you meet people in person, when the usernames actually have faces to them, when you meet them. And it could be as simple as the piggy bank story, or it could be as simple as, I remember this one girl, I was speaking about body positivity when I started speaking about was in 2016, and I did a meet and greet in 2017. It's an old story, I've said it many times, but it makes me very, very happy, so I'll quickly share it on time. And there was this young girl who would come to Delhi. I had a meet and greet in Delhi. She'd come to meet me, and she was like, "Hi, I love your content." And I was like, "Thank you." So she's like, "I'm wearing a skirt," and I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." She's like, "But look at this, like I have really hairy legs," and I was like, "Well done." You grew it yourself. But she's like, no. So I hate waxing, it's painful. I don't like to use a razor, but I love wearing skirts. And then I watched this video where you spoke about body positivity, and I got out of my house, I took the metro, I got in the rickshaw, and I've come to see when I didn't get awkward. I didn't care about what anyone else had to say to me. And this is just one of those moments that makes you also a little bit scared that you're actually reaching out to people. The responsibility of it increases, but it's a huge pat on the back for creators like this.
I agree, and I think if you can measure your success in terms of like storytelling and how you're making people feel versus a metric, you're not going to lose. I think it's great. This is a question for you, Prajakta. Considering your very diverse audience, how do you ensure cultural sensitivity when engaging in charitable activities, and how does this influence your content creation process?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yes. No problem. So you have a very diverse audience. How do you ensure cultural sensitivity?
Cultural sensitivity.
Yeah, when engaging in charitable activities, and how does this influence your content creation process?
The fact that I'm from India makes it a very fun playground for conversations like this. I come from a place where there are so many different cultures, so many different languages, so many different ways of life, but at the same time, why I like the internet is because it's all coming together over there, and I just happen to make all these conversations online. So for me, honestly, as long as the conversations are in Hindi or are in English or are in a language that can get me through to my primary audience, I think it's fine. Again, with the cultural sensitivity, it's just the intention. I mean, if I'm talking about climate action, as long as the message is how it doesn't matter what culture you come from, we're all still going to be affected by it. I feel like cultural sensitivity hasn't even been an issue for me yet.
Yeah. One thing that him and I talk about, because if you guys don't know this, I'm actually his manager, and whenever we're going to do, something good, or we're going to partner with somebody, we always ask ourselves, does whatever we're doing supersede, the bad stuff? And if the answer is yes, we're going to do it. Right? We're always going to do it because kindness should always supersede the things that are unfortunately polarizing to people, right?
And when you actually do it, you realize that from the outside it might seem like, is there going to be political pressure? Is there going to be a cultural sensitivity? Are there going to be consequences that I'm not ready for? Till you start working and then you see what that work does, and suddenly none of these things are actually even in your realm of worries.
Yeah, we completely agree with that. We have a question for you. So, how do you respond to criticisms that charitable content creators, may exploit vulnerable situations for personal gain? And what steps do you take, if any, to address these concerns?
I think that aligns with the previous example that I gave about Donald and Joseph in Los Angeles, where there was a situation where the money didn't fill in the gap. We were able to raise a large fund, but more importantly than just the money, to set them up with a system that allows them to get out of that situation. And as long as we know that that good supersedes showing that video, there's no way you raise $250,000 and get them an apartment and get their life back on track without that. And I think the more beautiful, a beautiful piece of that is the people that watch the video that maybe aren't in the exact situation, but in a similar situation, that these videos, whatever you want to call it, they provide people hope. And I think hope's the most important thing more than anything. So I started creating videos when I was depressed, borderline suicidal, and from a place where all my videos I'm doing, because there was things I lacked in my own life. For 2 years, no one told me I loved them. So in every video, I always say, I love you. I give students international flights home, because when I was across the world, I would have done anything to fly home and see my family. And I showed the kindness of strangers, because at that time, I was afraid to speak up to my family. And if I would have known a stranger was so kind, I may have opened up earlier, not let myself go down that hole. So the videos, I want them to provide hope for people, and that everyone's story matters. And yeah, that they matter. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
And it's simple. What about you?
Yes, it's 1 billion followers summit. Last day, day 2, Emirates Towers and the Museum of the Future. Today is the last day. We finished the event and now we are heading to the party to Zabil Park. Yeah, so let's go. No idea. The 1 billion follower summit is finished, and now we are at the after party here in Zabil Park in front of the beautiful Dubai frame, and we have the beautiful people around waiting for the party to happen with the DJ ready. Let's party! I'm sure, guys, this is a long-awaited moment here at Zabil Park 1 billion follower summit. I have Sai here, I have Kamal here, and we are having food. And this is a moment at the end of the video.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Can I have dinner with you?
Yes, yes, you can join us.
This is your camera? This is your vlog?
Yes.
Hi everyone, thank you for the camera. Assalamu alaikum. Hey!
Yeah.
Yes. Boss, how are you? Good?
Yeah.
What's your name? What's your good name?
My name is Timo.
Timo?
Yes.
Where are you from?
I'm from Uganda.
Uganda? Okay, teach me one word from Uganda. Or no, say one word from Uganda. I will guess what's this word.
Emere.
How are you?
No.
I love you.
No. Food.
Food? You only think about food? This is what you're thinking about?
It's a food moment.
I love creativity. What's up?
Where are you from?
I'm from India.
Bhaiya.
Yeah.
I was in India. I met your president. My name is Dia. I was in Varanasi and Goa.
Oh, I see. I'm from Hyderabad.
Really?
Yeah.
In
I haven't
Varanasi?
been to Goa yet or Varanasi yet, but I'm jealous of you that you're there already.
Why in Goa too much monkey?
I don't know.
There's too much monkey in Goa.
Too much monkey in Goa? I don't know. Like I've never been there, but I think it's the forest, I guess. Like the nature. Like more of like India is surrounded by a lot of monkeys and wildlife.
That's good.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah. Okay, now what is my sandwich?
no,
You'll have a burger.
You can take this half.
Here is
Sorry?
a burger.
chicken burger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or, or
fries.
fries.
Wait. Okay.
Or
This
hot
is out of
dog.
the way. Okay. Ah,
We
what's
have
this?
Chicken burger.
Okay.
And we have a chicken hot dog here.
Okay.
And another chicken hot dog here.
Try that finish.
Okay. That's
and
good.
fries.
Wow, I love it.
Food only. This is a magic moment.
Yes. Thank you so much. Please, all people, this is YouTube channel?
Yes.
Yeah.
All people should subscribe his channel. You should okay, how many subscribers do you have?
5,000.
So after this video,
Yeah.
you should get minimum 10,000.
10,000.
Minimum.
Deal.
Okay?
Target set.
Promise me?
Yes.
So everyone, see this video, you should subscribe because he needs. He deserves as well.
Definitely.
He's good YouTuber.
Definitely.
Help other people for their content. Salam alaikum. Salam. Bye. Salam alaikum.
Amazing.
Bye. Bye.
It's 1 billion follower summit. It's the last event. It's a dinner party, after party. What was your take from this?
I think keep trying, keep creating, and keep connecting. That's what I say.
Subscribe. Yeah, what about you?
You got it.
This is my second time. I
What's your name?
say to new creator,
Let's go guys. Let's go.
continuously you create the video, then it should be work.
Okay, sure. We have our friends here. Also have enjoyed the party.
Everything. The food was amazing.
The food was amazing. This is beautiful.
Everyone was happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bouncers happy.
everyone was good.
Okay, thank you
Everyone was
guys for the
amazing.
service. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Yeah.
Dubai, amazing place.
Dubai is a place to be. Yeah. 1 billion followers summit. See you next time in the next video. Godspeed everybody. Yeah.
See you next year.